do 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 do. How is everybody tonight?
Excellent.
We are
Excellent.
we are bullshitting. That's what we're doing right now.
Yep.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, Jenny said her link was broken. Let me resend that. So you were going to say something, Ben, and you said, I'll wait until you go live. So go ahead. What you got to say, buddy?
Yeah, so I had my first day on OB-GYN today, and there's one other student with me, so it's just a small little group this time. But it's actually really cool because this other student is going to be a future pediatrician. And we were talking a lot about trans healthcare, and he was asking a lot of great questions, and he is going to hopefully, be a really great pediatrician for the community. So I'm excited about that. We have more affirming pediatricians coming up.
Awesome.
So,
well, Ben,
cool.
We all know that you can go into any practice you want. You can do anything. Like, we know that. You're fucking brilliant. You're very, steadfast about studying. You, oh, wait a minute. I got somebody down in the basement. There's Jenny.
Jenny.
Jenny. And you're really, serious about it. And so when you were streaming on Sunday and Heather came into the chat, we were talking about it this morning, and she was like, man, those people were just, making jokes about the morgue and shit. She goes, I think Ben was starting to get irritated. I said, well, because he takes it seriously, he could take that for a little, but then he's like, all right, come on, guys. Come on now. It's not funny anymore after the 10th morning.
I loved having Heather on that. That was great.
Yeah. No, she's
I hope she wasn't too mad that I was pimping her, but I pimp everybody in my chat.
No. She was loving it. She's like, it was so cool. We got to do a little investigation shit. You could look at the labs and everything. And she was loving it. So, Caretaker and Marie, just so you know, on Sunday, the OMOG 123, that nickname was created by her daughter. Her daughter calls her "Oh Mother of Greatness."
I love that.
So OMOG 123 is always her. She always uses that everywhere. But yeah, so OMOG in the chat on Sunday for Ben's stream was Heather, the PA I work with. Yeah, the one that. Yeah, that's awesome.
So that's why we were hitting it off
incredible.
So well.
An amazing person. Anyways, hi Jenny.
Hi.
How are you, honey?
I'm fine.
Fine. Okay, I'll take fine. Hey, fine's better than bad.
Yep.
Just saying. True. It's better than horrible. It's better than bad, shitty, all those things.
Unless this is when a woman says fine and she is not actually feeling fine. If you're not actually feeling fine and if something's going on, feel free to say as much or as little as you'd like, but we're here for you.
I'm fine.
Okay.
That sounds the same.
Bees
I'm
dying.
very skilled.
I mean, we're all dying, Ben. I'm just dying from choking on some pot.
You're just dying more rapidly than the rest of us.
Yeah, I'm dying more rapidly from choking on pot. It's true.
I'm turning more than half a century on the weekend.
Oh, God. What are you hitting?
51.
Wait a minute. When's your birthday?
October 3rd.
You're only a year older than me? You fucking slacker.
Yeah. What? How does that make you a slacker? I don't understand that.
June. I just turned 50 in June, yeah.
There you go. There's Jenny.
I don't feel a day over 58. No, I'm kidding. That's not even true.
And for the audience, I feel like I should mention the fact that it was my first day on OB-GYN, and I had the very affirming time of getting kicked out of almost every room. Because
I was like, yes, that's fucking awesome. Hey, I went to a wedding this week. Speaking of being affirmed, right? So my boss is throwing this wedding for somebody at her house because the lady, I guess, didn't have any place to do it, and she wanted an outside wedding, all that, right? So my boss, Dr. Deb, she's got a really nice it's a beautiful house and pretty good size backyard for living in the city, So she set this whole thing up, and they got all the chairs and blah, blah, blah. And so she goes, hey, I need some help. Does anybody want to make $20 an hour cash? And I was like,
yeah,
sure, why not? I'm not doing anything. I told her, I said, I'm just going to sit around and watch YouTube and smoke pot. I'll come help, fuck it.
Sorry, I get 40.
It was Bridezilla, just so you guys know, but everybody else was amazing. There was one older guy there who kept calling me ma'am and she, and everybody else there called me sir. It was fucking amazing. It was like one of the best times. I was like,
that.
yeah, and it's like it's kind of weird because I'm trying to get used to it, you know. They're like, yes, sir, and I'm like, oh yeah, you're talking to me. That's right. Yeah. Because I'm so used. I'm like all my life, you know. It's always been fucking the alternative. So I know, right, Marie? It was a fuck yeah. It's fucking awesome. Definitely felt good. I'm glad we both had affirmations at like 24 or 48 hours away from each other. That's great. We're both having a good time.
Getting kicked out of the room. Hell yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting kicked out of the OB room, man. I tell you what.
Ben, I'll spread for you anytime.
Okay.
Oh shit. Oh God. Damn, Jenny, I can't even say forward. That was just
TMI.
Astra, Jupit.
Astra.
Hey, if you guys want to come, Ox is here too. Hi, buddy. I miss you. If anybody wants to come in, let me know. Just give me a
Astra,
shout.
come in. I want to talk to you. I need my science buddy.
Astra, you should come in. We never get to have you in here. Like what? Once now.
I've only had one of those kind of affirming experiences so far, but I was really surprised. Just, I don't react emotionally to much of anything. Mm-hmm. So I was really surprised how much a little thing like that, really gave me that euphoric surge.
I know, right?
That last time I was at the pharmacy getting my prescriptions refilled, since everything's in my male name, the guy there was addressing me by that. But as soon as he saw the prescription for the estradiol patches, talking to the other pharmacy workers, he started referring to me as her.
See, here's the thing, and everybody that's not trans and doesn't hang out with trans people, like the big thing is either A, correcting it, or B, asking ahead of time so you're not guessing and you're not wrong.
Well,
and if people just make an effort, like I don't care if somebody says like I'll be at work and somebody will say she, because I work at a doctor's office full of women, so they automatically think that I'm going to be a girl,
Uh-huh.
So, and they won't even see me, and then they say she, and then the girls at work go, no, he, and they go, oh, I'm sorry, and I'm like, see, that's all I need right there. It's just a little bit of effort and just a little bit of respect. That's all that matters.
And it really rather surprised me, because it was from this little bent over white-haired guy who looked like he's like 85.
Aww.
So
that's
I mean,
a big
you
step
expect
for an
less
old
from the older generation.
Yeah, that's huge. Hi, Astra.
Hi,
Hey
Astra.
How the hell are you?
I'm really good. Just went to Chicago's Big Gay Barbecue, where I sat in a corner with my wife playing with our dog, because that's my level. And I just made some butternut squash ravioli because I'm just that cottagecore lesbian right now.
Oh, nice.
I love that.
Nice.
It's got some nice shaved Parmesan cheese on it.
Also, for the audience, I'm on day 3 of the turf dog pile, going strong.
Do I want to know what the turf dog pile is?
Not
like
really.
thousands of turfs
They're
harassing me
attacking
on
Ben.
Twitter. 3
It's
days.
happening.
now.
It's ridiculous.
Jesus.
It's so
This
ridiculous.
is not the first dog pile I've been part of.
No,
But
this is
is
like
the biggest. This is the
yeah.
biggest dog pile I've been.
This
part of.
happened like a week or so ago too, didn't it? Like 2 weeks ago?
No, it was like
Was
a
it
month
longer
ago.
than that?
Something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does that mean you've made it, or are
Yes,
they
he's putting science out there,
They
and I
are
know
very
he's saying it
threatened
correctly
by
because
me.
they're all mad.
They're threatened by me because I affirm trans people.
How dare you follow science?
They keep claiming that my science is bad.
Oh my god.
You're a doctor.
Well, what they did was they got bigoted doctors to tell me I'm wrong. But the thing is,
or did we
this.
get bigots to pretend to be doctors to tell you that you're wrong?
I don't know, but the thing is, I wouldn't be surprised because, like, let's be real, the older generation of doctors are mostly bigots. Like, they were taught bigotry in medical school. Like, that's what was taught. It's still being, like, racism is still taught. So people saying that,
yeah,
like,
Oh yeah.
that, like, just because you learned something in medicine means that's absolutely like not biased. Like you are taught bigotry in medicine.
Wait, Ben,
So I don't
I
wanna hear
just
that.
realized something that is not not a trans issue, but I'm actually doing a video that's supposed to be a case study about like societal bias in science, and I'm doing fat phobia in medicine.
Yes.
And I have a dietitian YouTuber who's coming on to collab. But if you would be willing to like come on and talk about how, like, because I have all of this data that's just like, obviously anti-fatness is totally bunk science based on like this one weird Christian priest in the Middle Ages who decided that thin people were better. But if you want to like come on and talk about that too, I would love to incorporate that into the video and like piss off some TERFs.
I have no expertise in the area, but pretty much all my life, all of the women I have dated have been about twice my size. So I have tangled with a lot of doctors over that issue, that they wrote off anything they had to them being overweight.
That's a huge problem.
If you know any people who either anonymously or openly would like to share their personal experiences, I would that would be, I think, so helpful, because I think this is going to be one of the first issues that I talk about, like since the vaccines one, that actually affects real people. Normally I do like, this is how black holes work.
Yeah, and I'd love to also have you on my channel for a medical myths stream. Basically, you get to pick a medical myth topic, whatever you want, and we just debunk the shit out of it.
Yes, that would be amazing.
When are you doing that, Ben?
I do that on Saturdays usually, but this month it's going to depend on when we're on call, because I'm on OB-GYN right now, and we're on call all the time for babies. So
that's
you never
cute.
know when one might pop out.
Yeah, so evenings might be better than weekends because we're not on call most weekdays except Wednesdays.
Well, if you let me know your schedule, I have a very low stress job right now because I needed it after my last job, and it's great. It doesn't pay well, but like my hours are really predictable and very flexible.
See, that's why I don't, because that's why I like where I work. I don't care. Like the pay is barely enough for me to live off of.
Yeah.
But I don't care because I can still pay my bills. And I come home in a good mood like almost every single day.
Yeah.
I have a good job. I have good bosses, my coworkers, and I laugh all day. 90% of the people I talk to are thankful and amazing and sweet and respectful and
stuff
like,
you'd never see in EMS.
I know,
all those
right?
Or stuff you'd never see in EMS.
You know what else I don't miss about EMS? Fucking dragging people out of their houses in the snow.
Oh,
that shit sucks.
Carrying
like,
people downstairs because they have no elevators or the cop won't
I'd rather do a stair chair for every patient than ever fucking drag them through the snow, because you get these older people and you got to go in and get them, and then there's snow everywhere because nobody's cleared off their sidewalk and everything. And I was in Ohio, I'd be like wading through like 2 foot of snow, like pushing the cot through so I could like clear.
And that's so illegal that you can't sue the landlord.
Well, no, these people own houses. What are you going to do? Sue?
Oh, they're homeowners. Oh, shit.
Yeah, these were homeowners that just couldn't get out to do it anymore. Some of them we were pulling out of their houses because they were doing a failure to thrive, and the county went and checked them out and said, because somebody called, and they were like one guy was sitting his own shit for like 4 days in a diaper on the couch because he couldn't get up.
Oh no!
And no one was taking care of them, so we go pick them up and take them to a facility.
Jeez.
And they would, if they were in an apartment, they just pull them out because it was for their own. Like these guys, we picked up one guy. He was pretty mobile, but he didn't take care of himself at all. He ate shit food. He drank a lot, and his feet were like swollen and almost black. Like I know he lost his feet. He lost his feet.
Oh,
like for sure. He might have lost up his leg halfway too.
So
and people get mad, like leave me alone. But they're just. We can't just let you sit there and die.
Yeah.
That's not okay. Nobody's like, we went to get a guy for an appointment because he was non-ambulatory, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not going." So we were like, "All right, you know." So we checked on, and then we called his family, and we were like, "Look, you guys need to." Oh, I checked on him like 2 weeks ago. There's more than like, you guys need to do something about this. Like the place is filthy, you know, blah blah blah. All the failure to thrive you can think of, you know. We had one old lady that she had one of those portable potty things like they use, you know, and she had one of those, and it was totally smack ass full, and she was trying to use it still because she couldn't clean up. All her stuff was upstairs. I mean, it's just so many bad cases, man.
Yeah,
but when you get those older people that are lonely and miserable and they look like they're about to kill themselves, and you talk to them and make them laugh, and at the end of the ride, they hold your hand and say, "Thank you. You just made my day. I haven't laughed like this in months."
Oh,
That's the good part of EMS. Because no matter what situation, if that person was like cognitive and didn't have like a piece of rebar sticking in their side, I would do my best to make them laugh. I'd find some reason.
so sweet.
So, hey, but EMS was when everybody thought I was a guy. They all called me sir, all the old ladies and old men. And this one old lady said, "What's your name?" And I gave her my dead name. And she goes, "What's your name?" And I gave it to her again. She goes, "Huh, it's a funny name for a boy."
I wish I had that experience in EMS. I did not.
Only when I was in EMS. When I was in uniform, that was it, man. My hair was short, you know, because I don't know if people know, but in EMS, most women have longer hair. That's just how it is. They have longer hair, and they will put it up in a ponytail because they're still trying to hold on to that. I think it's like the girly thing, you know. They don't want to be like looking like one of the guys. So I was the only one in the entire station. It was female that had short hair, so everybody just assumed I was a guy. And the person I was working with was like, "That's fucked up," and I'm like, "It's all right."
It's so weird being around estrogen all day right now.
That's a mood.
So much estrogen in that building.
Right? Yeah, no, it's all right, really.
That's a mood.
Great.
I felt that one.
Thanks. That was 10 years ago.
That's
It's
awesome.
funny because both the med students are dudes right now in this office of all women.
Oh, you said all the med students are dudes?
Well, there's only two of us, and we're both dudes.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's because most of the OB-GYN offices will not take male med students. So they send us all to one place.
That makes no sense, but I go off.
Yeah, it's kind of terrible. And that's why I was not looking forward to OB-GYN, because it's very not intentionally transphobic, but it's very transphobic. And like, it's just the assumptions that are made about people and like the way they use language.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's not a very trans friendly place to be.
Well, I would think in that department, they probably pick for females because they assume the patients will be more comfortable that way.
Yeah. Yeah, for the med students, yeah.
What's weird is that, like, I have always picked, like, a woman OBGYN, but every time, like, I've gone through a service and, like, one's been picked for me, it's always a guy.
Really?
Like, oh, yeah, always a cis dude. And, like, usually an older cis dude.
Yeah. My ex had this, so she always was against seeing male OBs, right? And which I understand totally.
Which is fair.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fair. You know, some people are just not comfortable with their. Honestly, I was never even comfortable going to a doctor ever and being like, "Look at me," you know, like I just don't like that shit. You know, if they made the doctor's exam room look like a bedroom and like threw some roses and some romantic music, I'd be like, "Yeah," and I'd strip it off. But it's just so like cold and I don't want to do it. Anyways, so she ended up with this male doctor because she had to go to I don't know the whole deal, but anyway, she had to go to another doctor for some reason. I think her case was really extreme and she was at like a family practice originally. So she had Bartholin's. Her Bartholin's were clogged up.
Bartholin cysts, yeah.
Yeah, she had Bartholin cysts, exactly. So she had to go and they had to do surgery and cut her open where the lubrication comes out, basically. And they had to cut her open and stitch the pieces back because it kept healing over for some reason. And then she'd get these big cysts. But anyway, so the OBGYN was a dude. And right away, you just kind of felt comfortable with him. And then he brought her into the office to talk to her and everything. And in his office were like his wife and kids everywhere.
Oh no.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it was cool though, because it made you
Oh.
feel more like this is like a family guy. You know, he loves his wife. His wife actually worked in the practice with him. She was an OBGYN. They made the practice together. So she was like right over there, 2 doors. I don't know. It just made me feel better about it for her, you know, because my ex was seeing her, but I was like, do you feel comfortable? She was like, yeah, for some reason I do. And I was like, I know, right? Like this feels like a good space. You know what I mean?
And
So-
something in here, like, and this is something that the terps keep trying to say, and I'm just like,
the term.
how
The
do you think this way?
terps.
But they're terps now.
You just call them turds and get it over with.
I'm
the
just gonna
terps
start
are
calling
farts.
them
I like
farts.
calling them farts too.
Yeah. There's
But-
a whole meme with it. too.
But
Blowing hot
they
air.
get all weird about trans women like being in the room for like guy and stuff. It's like, okay, but then you're saying that like the women or the people with vaginas that are getting exams would be more comfortable with someone like B or me or like
No,
some
they
trans guy that
wouldn't.
looks like a lumberjack dude. Like, do you really think they're gonna care about what's in our pants? No, they're going to see us as men and they're not gonna want us in there, and that's fine. But like, this isn't about your junk. Like, this is about how you're perceived.
Look,
Yep.
how many women, anybody that's ever been to an OBGYN, let's put it that way. Anybody that's ever been to a OBGYN that wants to admit, how many of you have ever had a male OBGYN?
I have had 3.
Okay. Anybody else?
I've only had women.
Okay.
OBGYNs don't like to see trans women.
Fair enough. Okay, so that's 1 out of 3 that's only seen women. That's probably a good odd there because there's a lot of male OBGYNs out there.
Yep.
That's probably about right. I'd say about a third have only seen women. 2/3 have at some point in their life had seen a male OBGYN. What the fuck is it worse to have the guy in regular clothes or is it worse to, you know, are you talking about you're talking about like trans not cross-dressing? Are you talking about cross-dressing? Either one.
I'm just saying, like, trans guys.
Okay, okay.
That are technically have female anatomy, so are of, as the TERFs would say, the female sex in quotes. But it's like we're still like, if you saw, like, not me now because I don't pass super well yet, but like somebody with a full beard that's like big burly trans guy, you're not going to make any assumption that they were female ever.
Well,
And
what
you're
I
not
was
going
going
to
to
know
say
what's in their
was
pants.
most people have seen a male OB. What the fuck's the difference?
I think it's
They
just a lot
started
of-
out male and became female. So fucking what? Maybe they're more compassionate of women. Like, why is that so bad?
probably
I
because
think
If
of
they're
the-
worried about them
just-
being born as a male, then what is the difference between that and all the cis?
I think you're trying to apply logic
I'm
to
sorry.
an argument that it's not. I'll say this and then I do have to hop off because I'm gonna let the actual people speak and I have to eat. But I
Touche.
think all of these like quote unquote disaster scenarios, it is just word salad designed to evoke certain emotions. So combining trans women with OBGYN is literally just combine thing that we've decided is scary with vulnerable position. Combine like this with like it's the same with bathrooms. It's not like no one actually cares about trans women in a bathroom. They care about the fact that people feel vulnerable in a bathroom. People feel vulnerable in a changing room. Now this person we've decided for all of you is a predator. Let's combine the predator with the vulnerable situation. That's all it is. Like, the logic isn't there. It's just fear mongering.
And don't get me started on the bathroom thing, because if they just made those stalls solid floor to ceiling with a fucking door, like a little closet room, like a water closet used to be, it was just a little room with, and some people still have it in their master suites, just one little room with a toilet. If all of them were like that, everybody would feel safe because they'd have a door they could fucking lock.
Gendered bathrooms don't need to exist. Like,
no, and then you
onesies are a thing.
Right, you wouldn't need what? Everybody's gonna wash their hands in the same area. Who the fuck cares?
No, we
You're
can't
done.
share sinks.
What?
Girls have cooties.
Oh
I
yeah,
have to hop
yeah.
off,
Girls
please.
have their own things.
As
They
a
have
cootie
cooties.
haver, I'm sorry.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cootie
I really
owner.
think the reason we never make much progress on these issues
What
is
happened there?
because we're arguing logic and science, and the other side's just arguing emotion.
Yep.
So there's no way you can come to a midway point.
Yeah.
They're not
Christopher.
arguing. They're not arguing emotion. They're establishing lies to create emotion.
Absolutely. Thank you, Astra. Take care.
Bye,
Christopher, how
Astra.
are you?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, Marada. What are we discussing? What are we discussing this fine eve?
Trans
were
issues.
Talking about the
Bathrooms.
turfs and being assholes about trans shit and bathrooms and why they don't, how they don't need to be separated, and the fact that if they just made little rooms, actual little water closet rooms like they used to way back in the day, then people could all use the same big open area and it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, there's certainly a certain amount of like social psychology that goes into that. Like, we're just so entrained in our rituals that it blows our mind that it could be a different way, or that it was, to your point, exactly a different way. You know what I mean? Like, it's we logic ourselves into these corners. Oh, well, we have separate bathrooms for men and women. There's a reason for that. Is there? You know, aside from like just social norms.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up something, and it's stereotypic, but it's also so goddamn true. I cannot. One of the worst things about using like a porta potty is you go in and the guy who was in there before you has pissed all over fucking everything, not just the seat, not just the floor, but everything.
Well,
sometimes it's malicious and it's disgusting. And then I'm so expected to go in there and strip down to my infection vulnerable spots so that I can go and sit in there and mess.
No. See, but see, here's the thing: is if they made stalls with urinals, the guys would go use the urinal. You know, but it's just like having a toilet. They just need to make some extra stalls. They can still be closed. What freaks people out, because this is what I don't like, is that every goddamn stall in the entire fucking world in a public restroom, except for in Planet Fitness, because they actually have solid metal corner brackets going down the edge of where the door and the side meets. No one can see in those stalls at all. They would have to go really low or really high, you know? Because that's the thing that nobody, you can see right through those fucking stalls.
Well,
and I get that. I don't want anybody seeing me shit. Like, I get it.
Which, by the way, the turfs are known to do.
Oh, I wouldn't fucking doubt it.
Wait,
Hey,
what
the
are
only
they
people who are
known to do?
looking over the doors are the turfs. Nobody else does that.
Well, yeah, no. Why would they, right?
No one else cares what's in my pants. Like, I don't have people on a regular basis asking me what's in my pants. Like, that is sexual harassment. We don't.
I don't
that.
walk up to a straight man and ask him if he's got a dick or not.
It's because
Maybe
it's
he
the
had an
least
accident, got it
interesting
cut
part
off.
of us. It's the least interesting part of us.
It doesn't
Right?
matter.
And it's sexual harassment.
And it's sexual
And
harassment.
also that, yes. Well, there's that.
I mean, what if we walked up to cishet white women and just say, you know, walk up to them and go, "Got a pussy in there?" Oh my God, we'd be
That
fucking
sounds very
arrested.
Trumpian.
Yeah. You'd
Oh, I'd be cuffed
hopefully
and
be
thrown in
arrested.
jail. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And yet some of these same people proposed having armed white men in the women's bathroom to make sure trans people didn't go in there.
Ha!
What?
Yeah. It's
I-
not the trans
Really
women that
true.
are a problem. It's the cishet white men that are the problem.
Well,
I-
it's all the Karens and the Kents. All of them.
Yeah.
You know,
Wait,
I
wait,
propose
what do
that
you
we
call- what do
all
you call
just
the male
start using
Karen?
porta-johns.
I just say
Ken.
Kent like Barbie and Ken, and I just changed
Because I've
a
heard
little bit.
I've heard different variations of that. Chad.
I just wanted to
Chad.
match, but yet sound kind of like Ken because of Barbie.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. I really think they should be called Barbie and Kens because it's like a creation of a idea of how people should be, and they made dolls, and everybody else said, "I want to be Barbie and Ken." That's
yeah, but Karen sounds funnier than Barbie.
yeah, I know. It's true.
And then
Also, the company that owns Barbie would throw a shit fit if that happened.
True.
Such
Last
a
Monday,
role model.
when I got off the train, my luggage was just exceptionally heavy, and I use a cane and I limp, and it's very difficult for me to walk the 100 yards to the exit of the train station. And this young woman in her 20s comes up to me and she says, let me carry that for you. And I'm great, fine, here it is. You know, it was weighing like 50 pounds. And she, you know, I could tell that she was struggling with it too, but she carried it 100 yards out the door to my brother's car for me. And, you know, was just extremely pleasant. And I asked her I said, what's your name? I'm Jenny. And she says, oh, my name's Karen. And I just said, oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I got a cousin named Karen too. She's one of the
And
things.
we both just laughed very hard. And she says, yeah, I know. It really sucks these days.
Ah, that's hilarious. Now you guys are making me think about all the patients I know that are named Karen at work and how they act. Like I'm running it through my head right now going, wait a minute, that one's kind of shitty. That one's kind of shitty. Maybe it's a thing. Maybe it's in
just
the
the
name.
name.
Maybe it's in the name.
Could be just.
I
the
mean,
name.
you'll have those freak accidents where the people don't match the name, but like most of us in this stream.
Well, I think some of that happens because like a name will get popular because of a celebrity or something.
How the fuck?
So you have
TV
to
show.
kind of look about, you know, how old these people are and what that name was probably taken from and what group of people that name appealed to at the time.
Yeah. it's
Well, the
true.
name Karen has dropped to in the 800s in the most popular names.
Yeah.
I'm not shocked right now.
If you Google Karen, people also ask, is the name Karen extinct?
No, it's not.
But also like the first link is like it's been dropping in popularity since like 70s or something like that.
Oh, we found something beyond the norm. Catnip says, I have an Aunt Karen. She's delightful.
I have an Aunt Karen too, and she's also delightful.
Really?
Yeah, I have a boss named Karen. She's great. And I
My-
have a cousin named Karen. She's great too.
I
My
dated a
jiu-jitsu
chick
coach-
named Karen, and she was not a Karen. She was a lesbian. She can't be a Karen, right?
My
Maybe.
jiu-jitsu coach here in
She-
Arizona is Karen.
She was crazy.
No, then she's a Karen.
Fucking
No, my jiu-jitsu coach here in Arizona is a Karen, except for she is from Brazil and one of the most badass women I've ever met in my fucking life. Like she had a baby and then won the world championship in Brazilian jiu-jitsu right after that.
At the same
like-
time.
She was like, let's go.
Yeah, not on the same day, but like
Oh!
within a few months of each other, which is still impressive. Like
Somebody
the
catch
world,
that baby. I'm
world,
wrestling.
the world championship
God
at
damn,
the black belt
dude.
level.
That's awesome.
Damn.
Like after having a baby.
That is insane.
Now, I think any woman who's going to be in that kind of sport, you know, before the match starts, when they're sitting there staring and, you know, kind of staring down their opponent, should just say, bad news, I'm PMSing this week.
Yeah, women in fighting sports are amazing. Like they're tough as fucking nails. Like absolutely.
Hey,
We got Yuhan in the chat.
Yuhan.
I think
the
these
people
days
who-
anybody who's actually named Karen is probably going by their middle name.
Maybe.
Yeah.
No.
Huh.
Just call me Frederica. Frederica, that's a horrible name. I know, but it's better than Karen right now.
I prefer Wilhelmina.
Wilhelmina, that's a good. Okay, what's the worst old lady name everybody can think of? Think of the worst old
Olga.
lady name you've. Olga, that's a good one.
Bad.
Ethel.
Oh,
I
Ethel's
was gonna
not that
say
bad.
Ethel.
Ethel, so
they
yeah,
gave that
so
to my
Ethel is-
sister.
That's
That's
not
my-
that bad of a name.
Like
but-
my
Ethel's
sister
my
was
dad's
like,
mom.
"My name is
Irene.
Susan. What's your middle name?" Ethel.
Eunice.
Agnes.
Ethel
What
is a
about
great
Agnes?
gasoline.
What's that?
What
Ethel
about
is a
Agnes?
Gasoline.
Yeah, right.
Gertrude. That's a good one.
Gertrude, Bertha, Agnes. Agnes is a good. Hortense. The hell did you get that from,
Good
Tubi?
one.
And that sounds like an
that's
old
another
man
one.
name, but to begin with.
Well,
I had
Irene,
an-
you don't
I had
hear
an
a lot of
Bertha.
Irene.
I love
And she
What?
was the only person in my family outside my brothers who accepted me. So, no,
Oh.
you can't use that. I'll have to kill you.
Which one is it?
Bertha.
Bertha.
Bertha. Said a terrible name.
Blech.
The
There used to
do
be
you-
had a car named Bertha. I mean, a van named Bertha.
the best names, like the best old lady names, are when they're used for like there's people on Instagram who like foster possums and they give the possums old lady names, and it's my favorite. Like there's a possum on Instagram named Gladys the opossum. And I'm
Oh
just,
my
like,
God,
so
that's
about
great.
that. Gladys
Old
the
lady
opossum.
name. Yep.
That's great.
That's great. What about you, Nick? I see you over there, Nick. You got a good old lady name that you think is just horrid and should never be used again for the rest of eternity?
Uh,
I don't know if I can think of one besides that. Ethel is just the worst I've ever heard, I swear.
I mean, there's
Ethel
Gretchen.
isn't bad.
Gretchen's
What is
pretty
it?
bad. Gretchen?
No, I mean,
Yeah,
But I
don't
can't-
lie.
Edna's pretty bad too.
Edna's
Yeah, but I
pretty
can't
bad.
think of as many.
Edna's bad.
I can't think of as many female names that are as bad as like men names, like Erasmus and Horatio, and like all of those like very timely, not timely, but time stamped.
Oh
My-
yeah, definitely
my
time stamped.
My great grandfather's name was Edmiston.
Edmus, that's fantastic.
Oh,
That's not even a
Myrtle.
name.
Myrtle's a terrible name.
Oh, Myrtle is rough.
Moaning Myrtle. Yeah.
That's good.
Okay.
Myrtle is a little bit more the flavor I'm thinking. Myrtle, Horatio.
You guys want to hear?
Ebenezer.
You guys want to hear something funny?
Always.
So this lady at work has my dead name is her first name as well, right? Her nickname she goes by is Gay. She has that like in the charts. She wants everybody to call her Gay, and I was like, "That's so weird. Does she have my last name? Like what the fuck?"
I had a woman friend whose name was Gay in the early 70s when it was just starting to be used for gay.
I love the name
Really?
Gaylord.
Yeah, I
Does
mean she's
anyone
like 80
name-
years old.
Oh, wait.
That's
Gaylord.
why.
Does anyone name their kids Lucille anymore?
Yeah, I've heard of Lucille
I
before.
can't think of any Lucille's that have.
No,
just-
I've
Young
seen some
kids or
Lucy's, but
anything.
not Lucille's.
Yeah. I've
Our
seen
bus
Lucille.
driver was named Lucille, Ollie. So
Okay.
she was this crabby old lady, and her husband Ronnie, he was like always had his, because back then they wore, you guys don't know, I know because they don't do this anymore, but they wore like uniforms that looked kind of like cop uniforms, and they had a hat that was similar, like that bus driver hat, and the bus drivers really wore that shit. Like that's how old I am. So I was like 6 years old or whatever, and so Lucy, sometimes we were late getting to the bus stop in the wintertime. The snow was real deep. We literally walked like 1.25 miles through the snow. There was a big hill in the middle, uphill both ways, but we had shoes. But we would get all the way down there and realize that we missed the bus. We'd see the tracks in the snow for the bus and know that she was already gone. We're like, fuck. Walk all the way back home. And on the way home, we would sing, "You picked a fine time to leave me, Lucille. 4 hungry children." And then we change it to 6, of course, because there were 6 of us. 6 hungry children and the crops in the field.
Kenny Rogers, right? I think so. Yeah.
B.B. King's guitar was named Lucille.
Yes, it was actually. That's about the best Lucille I've ever heard of.
Negan's baseball bat
Virginia
was
or
named Lucille.
Ginny.
Yeah.
Fern.
I forgot about Negan's
Oh.
baseball bat. Shit, I haven't
Yeah.
seen The Walking Dead in like a hot second.
You picked it.
I think they're doing. This is the last season they're doing this year.
Yeah, I think so. I kind of went downhill after. I think it was
Right
like-
after Rick left, it went so far downhill.
No, I was thinking of another.
And
Forgot
now
his name.
Michonne's been gone for the last 2.5, 3 seasons.
Oh yeah, that was
right?
another
That's
thing.
another thing too.
Um,
They
Oh.
brought back what's her name there? I
The
can't
kid?
remember the character's name. Lori,
Lori?
is that her name?
Laurel?
Lori? I don't know. She was gone for a couple of seasons and she came back. She's Herschel was her father, and she's also got a kid named Herschel.
Marie's like, spoilers.
Yeah.
Lori. I
Lori,
think.
Lori, something like that.
I tried to say that the other night, Marie, and they said to me that shit's been came out 6 years ago.
Oh, no,
It's
maybe
out of the spoiler range. You're just
Oh, not
fucked. You should have
Lori.
watched it.
It's not Lori, no. Oh, I'm gonna have
That's
to look
another
it up
name
now.
that I just don't like is Herschel.
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 Hey, Nick.
NLS.
Hey, how's it going?
How are you?
I'm
There's
doing well, thank you.
Me too.
Maggie.
That's it, Maggie. That is it
Maggie.
right there. It's Maggie. Maggie and Glenn. Glenn's
no.
kid is Herschel. Right? Her dad was Herschel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of.
Yep. No, you're right. I only paid attention to like 2 characters. I was like, please don't fucking die. I wonder if he's alive. Actually, I'm just gonna look it up. Piston.
Which character? You're wondering if a character's still? Oh, I'm not going to tell you. That'd be a spoiler.
Yeah. Well, actually, no.
Right.
There's 3. There's Negan, Eugene, and then another character that I am completely blanking out. I think it was Daryl. Not Daryl.
Daryl?
Not Daryl.
Yeah,
What's his name?
Daryl's the crossbow guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No.
Ollie.
I need to
Kyle
share her.
said you-
Yeah, dude. If you could come over, come on over. I'm good. I would
He's
share.
like,
I
will
always share.
smoke you up, bro.
Yeah, it's all good.
Oh, no. We're good. We're good. I can
So-
still watch it.
Did you guys know about this?
What?
What?
I didn't know it was that bad.
Keep track of what?
Comment. Okay. Oh, if you guys can't read it. Okay. It says, keep track of the La Poma volcano. They say there could be a landslide that will send a huge tidal wave our way. All the East Coast may have to lead to high ground. Head to high
Wait.
ground.
Why?
I'm on an island on the East Coast. I'm
What is
going to
this?
die.
I know.
Wait. Why the East?
Could be a wave from 20 to 80 feet by the time it reaches us.
Whereabouts is it?
Argentina?
Canary
Where's it
Islands.
supposed to hit at, Ox? And we need references. We need
La Poma volcano.
give me a link
La
or something to
Poma
that shit so everybody can go check
volcano.
it out.
La Palma volcano is on the Canary Islands, and that rumor has been around for weeks.
Oh, it's
And-
just right
and
off.
It's
okay.
erupting quite badly, and nothing has happened.
Okay, that's good. Yeah.
Yeah. The thing is that it's on the Canary Islands, which is near Western Sahara and Morocco. So
Yeah, Ox, go to
Cool.
where Sandy is if you need to, and then you'll be so high, you'll be up on the side of a mountain, and it'll just go down the valley and miss you guys. No, yeah, she's right. She's right. Because if it gets that far inland, even if there's like the water goes inland, she's up on a freaking hill. It's never gonna bother her. But she's far inland though.
Oh, is it underground? Because that would make a lot more sense why it would hit us. No, it's not.
Well, I mean, if you get a serious enough of a slide into the, like, if part of the island, like, crumbles into the ocean, it will cause some shit. But, man, that's really far. for it
Yeah.
to hit us.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's-
there's a possibility that the after effects can hit us, but not as bad as some people would think.
Well,
Okay.
distance isn't necessarily all that relevant because it's just, I mean, water retains energy so well and transmits it so well that if it's a really big slide, it can be a problem for thousands of miles easily.
Yeah.
So I just looked at
A tidal wave will go around the entire globe, sometimes twice.
Well, yeah, but it has to be like it can't be
it
like
can't be
it's gotta
interrupted
be
by land.
it's got to
though.
be big. It's got to be pretty hefty, pretty big size for that to go really
Well,
far, right?
I'm just you guys, yeah, on southern East Coast, you guys could be screwed. But where I'm at in Prince Edward Island, I got all of Nova Scotia sheltering me from that.
Oh, you're all the way up there. Oh, yeah, you're fine. I don't think that'll. Yeah.
So
I'd be
to
more
hit us
concerned
here in the
about my
Gulf, it would have
family
to
in
be-
Florida.
We may see a rise in water levels, but we won't see like a tidal wave because it'll get stopped before it gets to us.
Yeah, well, some areas of Florida have been having serious problems with flooding already. So
Yeah.
any kind of rise in water level there could take out sections of cities.
The
Well,
highest,
it's like
Puerto
it's just
Rico,
like Ox
Dominican,
just said.
Cuba.
the
Ox
highest
lives in
point
North
Florida is
Carolina,
6 feet above
which
sea
is
level.
Yeah,
I'm
North
sorry?
Carolina's in trouble.
Jenny. Say that again.
The highest point in Florida is 6 feet above sea level.
See, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Ox is 8 feet above sea level. Florida, it gets too high. They're just done. It's just, and I don't know why my family insists on living down there. I don't.
Well, I'm sure.
like-
I'm sure if they do get a tidal wave heading towards Florida, that DeSantis will wish it away.
Oh no, he'll say it's fake news and that you can't believe. He'll tell you it's fake news to eat some ivermectin, gargle with iodine, do a breathing treatment with hydrogen peroxide, and then go out and have a party with your friends with no masks. That's what
okay.
he'll say.
No, I have to stop you. That's really unfair. He's going to say that you have a choice whether or not to get hit with the tidal wave, and only people who are liberal elitists are actually choosing to be hit by the
Dude, that is totally right. Don't worry, God will take care of us. It'll be fine.
No.
These,
God's
like,
going to take care of the
Christians floating
Republicans.
along out
God's
to
going to take
sea.
care of those of us who believe. The rest, the Democrats are screwed.
You know
But
what
yeah.
this reminded me of? It reminds me of that joke. The Christians use it, but it's still a funny joke, right? So this guy's like, in an area that's starting to flood, it's getting deeper and deeper, and he ends up on top of his house. He crawls out his dormer window.
Yeah.
What?
No, may I? Because I love it. This is one of my favorite stories. Okay.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think I think it's a great tool for discussing. The water's rising. The guy sees it. Here's on the radio, there's going to be a flood. Everyone evacuate. He says, I'm not going to evacuate. I pray to God every day. I love God, worship God. He's going to save me. Then the water keeps rising, gets up onto the roof. Boat comes by. They say, hey, hop in the boat. We'll take you out of here. He says, no, I'm not going to hop in the boat. I love God. I pray to God every day. I worship God. He's going to save me. Finally, a helicopter comes by the next day, and he's like, he's hanging on to the very top of the chimney. And they say, come on, we'll throw you a ladder. Get in. He goes, no, I love God. I believe in God. I worship God every day. God's going to save me. Next day, he drowns. He goes up to the pearly gates and says, God, I worshiped you every day. I loved you. I believed in you. I fought for you. Why didn't you save me? And God said, I sent you a radio call, a boat, and a helicopter. What more did you want?
Yeah. No, that's
I love that joke. It's funny, man. That's
a spectacular one.
Because it's funny because people like Christians use it as like a see if you just would have listened and believed in God, but really it's just bashing them. Because they think that like this being's gonna come out of the sky and come save them, There's all these other things trying to help them, and they don't even. Anyways.
Florida's got that evangelical prophet. What's her name? Kat Kerr. That she's been out there last couple of hurricanes. That she's literally been out there waving a staff and shouting incantations at the hurricanes for them to change course. And she's claimed it's worked every time, despite how many people get killed in each hurricane.
No, it's worked every time, but it hit direct. But
yeah,
it worked. It went to the right 20 feet. I told it to move.
You only see the failures, okay? That's all I'm saying. You only see the failures. How many successes has she had that you don't see? Yeah, I think the moral of that story is that God helps those who help themselves, and I think whenever I'm stuck with an entrenched Christian who won't do something and won't take care of themselves because they believe in God, I was like, okay, look, here's the story. God helps those who helps themselves. Maybe He sent me here to talk to you. I don't know, but why don't you get off your ass and do what you gotta do?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's true, man. People are just fucked up. Commander 401 said the conservative Christians get all their political ideology from a book called The Antichrist, written by Friedrich Nietzsche. Rand loved Nietzsche. Okay. He informed fascism. He was a bit of a prick. Okay.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was. Well, he was depressed, to put it mildly. But
well, and the truth is, most of the evangelical Christians have no idea where the stuff is coming from because most of them have never read the Bible. They only know the bits that their pastor has shouted at them from the pulpit.
Yep.
Oh, you don't want them to read it, do you? Oh, come on, perps. You don't want to. You want them to read it and think for themselves instead of just following what's been handed down generation after generation from one priest to the next, one family member to the next, that has grown and changed. Anybody ever play the game Gossip?
Hey, I was a good Catholic boy. I decided I was going to read the Bible cover to cover, which is exactly the reason I'm no longer Christian.
Mm-hmm.
well, look, I mean, it was made by a being that created all of us and created the universe and put us all here. I'm at least going to get the Cliff Notes, okay? And usually, I mean, that's what a priest is good at, right? They'll just give me the Cliff Notes. I mean, I got things to do. I'm not going to read a book that's made by an almighty being. I mean, he if he wrote it, then he knows. I'm too busy to actually sit and read anything.
No. Let's read it though, Nick.
The new Dune movie
he
came
knows
out.
I have good intentions.
If he wanted me to read it, he wouldn't have had Dune come out at the same time that I was planning on reading it. Okay.
Whoa.
Okay.
Whoa.
Why is it? Go ahead, Jenny. What?
Learning how to read is satanic.
Yeah. Why is it that they can never take the time to study their own religion, but they've got all the time in the world to get involved in the trans bathroom bills and things that have no effect on their life at all?
Right.
And they claim it for religion.
No,
religious
look.
reasons.
To hate the world and hate everybody in it except themselves.
Look, the bottom line is these type of people, okay, first of all, I want to say that misery loves company. Second of all, these people love drama. They thrive off of this fucking shit. They just want to always play the victim. It's like that one TikTok somebody put out, and it's like a guy sitting by himself, partially in the dark, and he looked all sad. And he was like, "Oh, they're just ruining Christianity and taking all our rights away and attacking us and all this shit." And somebody it was a black woman who's atheist now, was religious her whole life, got on afterwards and said, "Are you fucking kidding me right now? You motherfuckers, you are a white male Christian. You have more rights than anybody. So shut the fuck up." And she was they're trying to play off of that. They have to be the victim everywhere. That's all it is. They're playing the victim. And it's just another, some trans guy's gonna fucking notice I have a dick too. I don't know. I think they're afraid that we're going to whip it out and it's going to be way bigger than theirs and they're going to be mad. That's what I think.
I still think that the thing they're most afraid of is that they're going to find a woman attractive and then find out that she has a penis.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Agreed.
I think that's what scares the fuck out of them.
Agreed. Hi, HS. Oh, muted.
I'm having technical difficulties, but hey.
Of course, in a lot of cases, their fear is that they will meet a woman, find her attractive, and then find out she doesn't have a penis.
Right. Who knows? Damn, I thought she was trans. Damn, she's trans and complete. I don't know. However you want to look at it. See, I knew it, Ox. Ox said I'm right. They're afraid that we're going to have bigger dicks than them.
Yep.
1597, nice. There's a hold on, 1537 Matthew's Bible, and the person that wrote it got killed. I guess over that, I don't know all the logistics behind it, but it is one of the oldest, least fucked up Bibles that we can readily get a hold of. So if you guys want to really read a Bible, I would suggest go reading that one. Make sure you get the kind that's into modern day English though, because the old English is really fucking hard to read. I have one.
Hey, none of that. King James is the only valid Bible.
Bullshit. Bullshit. Oh my goodness. The peeps are just flooding in.
Hi.
Ooh, what's up, buddy? How are you?
There we go.
Super duper.
Good. Yeah, I know, Cadence. I know King James had a bunch of little fucking male concubine things going on there. We all know about that. He was gay as fuck.
Okay. I have to ask, because I've been in streams with you a number of times now, but where'd you get the name Holy Spackle?
If you hear extra noise, I apologize, but yeah, you get the Holy Spackle came from a nickname that Gus Bellinger gave me, and he's someone that would frequent a lot of hangouts, and he's on Discord a lot, and at the time, I'd walk into these octagons with atheists and theists fighting, and I'd be like, can't we just get along? And I would try to smooth everything over, right? And so he's like, smooth, 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 here comes Holy Spackle. And so that's where it came from. Yeah.
I love it. That's great. Because I was wondering too. I think I meant to ask you, or maybe you told me and I was high. That happens, but I'll remember this time. That's an awesome story. Holy Spackle.
He might remember this time. Might.
I might.
Well, I was wondering whether or not it was literally a drywall reference or if there was some other meaning to it that I didn't know.
It's a drywall reference, though. Somebody Urban Dictionaried, and also apparently it can be like jizz, but it wasn't a jizz reference. It was a drywall reference, I promise.
Oh. Oh, interesting, Tony. Let me put this one up so you guys can read it. For Jenny and the other ones that can't see it that are on a phone. TU says, I'm in the weird situation of only being attracted to men. I've dated trans men without thinking about it, but had a trans woman be mad at me because I wasn't interested in her. I mean, that makes sense to me, though. Like, they became a woman, so...
Yeah.
If you're not into women...
They were never a man, so...
Yeah, why would you be attracted to them, right?
Yeah, I know there's been a lot of flack online about that if you wouldn't date a trans woman, you're transphobic. And it's like, no, that's not necessarily true. I mean, I like women. It doesn't mean I would date any woman. I have certain preferences. I have certain things that'll put me off.
Yeah, and that's like Ben and I were saying, and Ben was like, well, I guess I'm just going to be considered bisexual as a trans man because, I'm open to that shit. And I was like, well, I mean, I don't know. If I see someone that I'm attracted to, I don't know.
Pretty much only not attracted
they would
to
never get their
cishet
dick
men.
touched, but I mean, that's up to them, if they're cool with
Yeah,
that.
well, I've always said I'm pansexual because, if I feel that kind of attraction to somebody, their gender is on the list somewhere about the same ranking as their hair color.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm right with you on that
From
one.
together
That's
from
like,
both ends, though. That, and I don't mean that as a double entendre.
Sure,
They get the people who publicly say, "Oh, I'm not going to date a trans woman because they have penises." Well, some do, because they're in transition yet. Some do because they're going to choose not to have surgery, or they can't afford it, or a medically problem, or something like that. But most transgender women don't, and then they get, Oh yeah, but you used to be a man. You know, it's like, oh, okay,
it's-
fuck you. I can't win from any angle.
Yeah, it was like it's totally
it
valid
sucks.
to not want to date a trans woman if you're only attracted to men, because a trans woman is not a man and never was a man. So they're not in your pool.
Right.
Yeah, I'm with Purple on
They're
that
not in
one.
the man pool.
The whole pansexual thing pretty much describes me. I'm either attracted or I'm not. It really doesn't matter what else is going on.
I've been told on Twitter, and you know, all things great happen on Twitter, just so you know. But I've been told on Twitter that I'm a bigot because I'm a bisexual and not a pansexual. Apparently, if you're not pansexual and you're bisexual, then you have a problem. And I'm like, no, my stance is I just haven't. It's been pretty open. It's like I haven't been attracted to a trans man or trans woman. Like, you know,
Well,
we're
and-
just
and
sort of
bi
open.
Bi isn't.
I have never met
isn't
a
trans
cis man.
exclusive. Bi it
I have-
doesn't mean that you're excluding trans people. Like most bi people that I know would absolutely date a trans person. It's just they like the term bi for a lot of people means that they're attracted to their gender and other genders. But like for I don't know, like the way I use it, I guess, is I'm attracted to multiple genders, but I am differently attracted to them. Like it's not equal attraction based
Right.
on
Yes.
that. Like I have a very visceral reaction to being attracted to feminine presenting people, but I have a more of a demi sexuality when it comes to masculine presenting people. I have to really get to know somebody who's masculine first before I'm attracted to them. So I can be attracted to people of multiple genders, but it just depends on, like, my body reacts one way for certain people than for
Right.
other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah, Candace like hits on something too, which is like
Cadence.
you know, cadence. Thank you. Sorry. Yeah, that there is sometimes like this weird insistence that if you're pansexual or bisexual, that you have to be center and equally attracted to both, which isn't necessarily true.
Yeah.
I have never met a cis het man who would go to bed with a post-op transgender woman. Ever. And I've been in this business longer than
Well, they're dumb.
Yeah. Yeah, we know. I've been in this business longer than you all.
They're dumb.
I love you.
Yes, yes, they are, because
Yeah.
with most men's limited knowledge, they would not be able to look at the genitalia of a transgender woman and a cis woman and tell them apart.
They would not be
Yeah.
able to tell. No.
Outside of
No.
the need for a little bit of lubrication when you get going.
Yeah. Which a
There's
lot
the
of
same.
women are like
That's
that
fine.
anyways. Like
works the same
90%
way.
of the women I dated needed lubrication at different ages. It's not a
Yep.
big deal. If that's the worst, I mean, that's common anyways.
Well, at my age, we need to live in a vat of Jell-O. But
Yes, Mac, we all have complicated sexualities, right? I agree.
A lot of people too think like demisexual is a thing where like people go, "Oh, I'm demisexual," but they're almost to the grade of asexual, right? And then there's people that are like, "I'm demisexual," but they're not asexual. Like there's like that sliding scale there too, which is really kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
everything is such a sliding scale. So that's
I
why
am-
I'm at a point where it's like labels are only useful for you to describe yourself,
Mhm.
but it's like there should never be like a hard and fast category that you have to adhere to. It's just a nice way to be able to explain who you are to somebody else who doesn't know you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think labels are good for starting conversations because usually you have to define what the label means anyway.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, because it's different for everybody. It really is. I mean, of course, you'll have some people that might align, but you're not going to get a group of people like us together and everybody's going to agree totally. It just doesn't work like that.
Mhm.
I'm in total agreement with that.
I'm gonna write on Twitter right now
Amazing.
how everybody's wrong but me.
Yeah, I love that the TERFs have been loving to use this gotcha with me of like, well, so what's your definition of a woman and what's your definition of a man? And I'm like, a woman is a person who identifies with being a woman, and a man is someone who identifies with being a man.
Being a man. There you go.
And then they're like, no, you can't do that. I'm like, but I just did.
But I was just about to say it. I was just about to say it, but I just did. So funny.
They're fun.
Randy said, well, on behalf of my kind, I apologize for the low IQ ones being morons.
Don't
It's okay,
apologize.
Randy.
Don't apologize. Just get me laid, okay?
There's only one right answer, and that's getting Jenny laid, okay?
That's right.
That is the answer. That is the goal of every stream we all of us are on. That's what should be our one main goal. Definitely.
Oh man, I didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Look at
What are
that.
you even doing here if you don't know what the purpose is?
I don't know. What is life?
What is
Jenny, can you read that?
Jenny, are we still trying to earn money for your car, or did you get it yet?
Just a second. Let me read this first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's this thing about old men. You know, it's like, I know I'm 67, but I don't look it. I don't act it. And the men who are my age, I would go, oh man, you're really gone, aren't you? So I'm not really interested in old man things.
Ox said he meant that wouldn't think twice, not would think twice.
And the car, Holy Spackle asked. Yes, the car is settled. It's in my hands. It's one of the most wonderful cars I've ever had.
Excellent.
It really is far beyond my expectations. It has some rust issues, but my brother, who's a well, not currently, but was a professional body guy, said, "Look, I should come down in spring and we'll spend a week on it and take care of all those rust spots and fabricate some new patches and things." Because we don't just put Bondo on, we actually make patches and weld them in and grind them down, and so nobody can tell. But anyways.
Like you're supposed to, right?
Yeah, like you're supposed to do, that sort of thing. It's tough being a pro. You know, you have these levels of expectation. But anyways, yeah, it really is just I couldn't go on for the thing about the thing for hours. It really is marvelous. It outhandles my previous version, even though it's the same year and model. The modifications are all the modifications I wanted to put onto mine, but couldn't afford it anymore. And so I'm very fortunate in that respect. It seems to be getting about 25 miles to the gallon because it's got a few changes in it that drop the mileage lower, but that's okay because it performs much better.
Can you convert that to kilometers and liters?
Pardon?
Can you convert that to kilometers and liters?
Don't
worry about it. Don't worry about it.
No, I can't. I'm sorry. I've never thought of it in that number. Although I am primarily a metric person. It's good. That's all that matters. It's just a little 1.9 liter engine. So.
Okay. No, I know with my Civic, I'm getting about 7.5 to 8. No, 6.5 to 7.5 liters per 100 kilometers. So, and I don't know how many liters there is in a gallon.
1 liter is 33.8 ounces. There's four. There's four of those. Well, a quart.
A liter is just slightly bigger than a quart.
Four quarts in a gallon, which is 32 ounces. A liter is 33.8 ounces. So
you can almost get 4 liters in a gallon.
Yeah, it's real similar. What you get is that the metric, the meter is or kilometer is so different. It's by 1.6 difference.
Yeah.
Okay. To be fair, 25 miles per gallon is literally better than most cars that were manufactured this year in America will get.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yes. Well, with the SUVs and all that bullshit, a lot of those things only get 15 to 20 miles per gallon.
I'm
In my
still over
truck,
40.
it's 19.
I'm right
I have
over
a full
40.
size pickup and I get 19, but I don't slam
was-
on the gas and
It
shit
was, a
all the
big,
time.
it was a
'cause-
big mistake for the Congress to back off of CAFE standards, which is corporate annual average fuel economy.
What kind of car have you got that you're getting 40?
Nissan Versa Note
It's a Versa. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
with the little guy.
Yeah, well, this is actually the reason that SUVs even exist, is because they had fuel standards that, you know, by 2020, all cars were supposed to get at least 35 miles to the gallon. So they invented this new class that they called SUVs because they could get those under the class of light trucks. So they only had to meet the standards of pickup trucks instead of cars. And they could sell those only getting 15 miles a gallon.
Yes, Math Pig, that is Monty. It is. He hasn't said anything in a while, but
Very
he's
good
there.
perp.
I'm here. I'm here listening. I am an
Mouth-
active
mouth-
listener right now.
Math Pig's calling you out.
Perp, that was very good. Most people don't understand that political reality of cars. It was all pretty much an action of the Reagan and Bush administration.
Yeah, that was part of Reagan's deregulating things because it was going to boost the economy. You know, that the Republican idea that a laissez-faire economy was going to be so much better for this country.
I drive a Nissan Sentra. I get about 22 gallons to 22
Look, the
miles
best
to a
gas
gallon.
mileage I ever had in my life was a 1992 Yamaha Virago. I got 48 miles a gallon on that bitch.
The Geo Metro,
750, and it ran like a freaking 900, and it was great.
the Geo Metro in its day was getting 45 to 50 miles to the gallon.
Yeah,
I had a 1992
when they were brand
Geo
new.
Metro. Oh, not even just brand new. I had a 1992 Geo Metro, and this was in 2008. And when it was straight out interstate, I could get 50 miles a gallon out of it.
I remember when we graduated high school, we're just hanging out and stuff. I was like 18, 19 years old, and we go to like these rock shows and stuff like that. My friend had a Geo Metro, and we'd all pile into this Geo Metro. But like the problem is we have like 4 high schoolers in this tiny little car, and every time like we'd go up a grade on the freeway trying to get to our destination, we'd be like, lean forward, everybody lean forward, like hoping that we could somehow help it. You feel it. It's like
True,
straining.
man. They
Oh.
were horrible. They were great in the city. They're great in the cities. They were horrible on the mountains.
Yeah, they only had a little 3-cylinder engine. Literally, some of the highway bikes, the Harleys and the Hondas, actually outweighed these things. And I looked at the door stamp inside, and it rated the carrying capacity of the car at 688 pounds. And this is the car I had when I moved to New York with everything I owned. And yeah, it struggled. It could not maintain the speed going up the hills in Ohio.
Of course, the all-time mileage king, actually it's not, but one of the all-time mileage kings was for those of you who are really old and remember this sort of shit, the 1955 to 1962 BMW Isetta, which was a 1-cylinder 297 or 300 cc motor that got about 50 to mostly 60 miles to the gallon. But it would not go over 45 miles an hour, and sometimes wouldn't make it up any hill, even empty.
1 cylinder?
Yeah, 1 cylinder.
That
Should have
must
come
have
with
been
an
a rough
option to
ride.
pedal.
Pardon?
Go ahead.
Something about an option to pedal.
Oh, no,
Option to pedal.
But
Sorry.
I'll have you know that engine in that car was so good as a 1-cylinder small engine. And it's 4-cycle, by the way, not some little 2-cycle Yamaha crap piece. Briggs and Stratton paid a friend of mine a huge sum of money to remove the engine from his Isetta and to spend about 1.5 years with it, researching it, trying to understand why it ran so well and how it could possibly run so smoothly as a 1-cylinder motor.
I was just wondering about that.
Okay.
And they never figured it out, but we all know the answer. We just didn't tell them. And it's the fact that it uses roller bearings and everything instead of clamshell or sheath type bearings.
Savage Minnows in the chat.
I know. Savage Minnow and I talked the other night when I stayed up late on the Cider Imports fundraiser stream. And Steven was sleeping and MathPig was filling in. And I sat up there and talked with them for 4 hours or something. I don't know. I think it was 3.5, 4 hours. And I'd never talked to Savage Minnow before. And we're buddies now.
Oh, good.
She's way cool. Yeah, she's way cool.
She seems very cool.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I've wondered about is that the Geo Metro was a downright primitive car. There were no electronics. It had a carburetor. It was like the cars were built in the mid-'70s.
Uh-huh.
And that was getting 50 miles to the gallon.
Oh, well, it was tiny. It was just tiny with a very small motor. Was it 1.3 or 1.4?
Okay.
You had to lean forward on the hills, I'm telling you.
But if it was doing that well with such crude mechanical controls, couldn't you have gotten even better mileage off of that if you had actually put some computer control on that same engine and had fuel injectors?
Yes, but the expense was too high. The fuel injection is far more efficient, both in terms of consumption and power output, than a carburetor, but it's way more expensive.
Well, yeah, obviously it would have been a much more expensive car. I just wonder what kind of fuel economy you could have gotten out of it.
I would bet that you could have gotten 50 miles to the gallon.
Well, I was getting 50 with it having a carburetor.
Oh, okay. Well, then I bet you could have gotten 60 to 70.
Yeah, that's why I was wondering if you couldn't have gotten something that could have got 70 miles to the gallon. Now, that's a car I would definitely buy.
Modern day digitally controlled fuel injection has been the greatest improvement in the internal combustion engine system of anything throughout its history. The performance statistics and the emissions statistics went through the roof when Bosch and BMW and Porsche finally figured it out and made it practical for on the street. It's just amazing, even in its very early stage.
Yeah, being able to precisely measure how much fuel is going to each cylinder on each stroke.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You know, because the carburetors tended to have the problem that a lot of fuel was wasted because they tended to give it too much fuel, so part of it wasn't burnt and just being exhausted.
Well,
and then the muscle car came through and said, "Fuck that shit."
No. That's what was the amazing thing is that in the 70s you had all your muscle cars and pony cars and shit like that, and they were getting like 300 horsepower motor in a Mustang or 350 or 400 horsepower in a Camaro or Corvette or something, but they were getting 8 miles, 10 miles to the gallon. Well, in those subsequent years when they came out with fuel injection, the Bosch Motronic, for example, as being the first digital system out there, immediately BMWs and Porsches were getting like 25 to 30 miles to the gallon out of a 6-cylinder motor and putting out 50 to 60% more horsepower than they did before. So there was this huge performance increase with a huge mileage increase. And it was just absolutely a dream in the industry. And their only emissions equipment was a catalytic converter and an oxygen sensor.
Yep. Yes, Sandy, I believe that. I remember those old cars back in the day, Camaros and Mustangs and shit, and the Chevelles and everything else, and the Novas. And you would hit the gas in it, and you could just, as you're taking off, you could just watch the needle slowly start dropping.
I have some good news.
Go. I love good news.
It seems like the TERFs have been kind of starting to get bored, finally. But instead, I am finding my Twitter spammed with a thread of Nervardia asking about Tylenol dosages.
Ah.
I'm like, I am okay with spamming about Tylenol. That's okay.
It's a legit question. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like that the TERFs are finally like getting bored because we're not feeding their fire anymore.
I told you, man, and people don't get that. Like they try
Oh, I
to fight
started
it
blocking
back.
them. I started blocking
First
and
of all,
reporting
you're
them.
never going to get through to these people. There's a lot of people on YouTube and on Twitter and everything talking about all this stuff.
Well,
If
no, and
they're
the
not
point-
going to
the point
listen to
was
these
never-
people
No,
with
again-
these huge science degrees, they're not going to listen to anybody else.
No,
so
let
the
me
best thing to
clarify,
do is just block them and ignore them. And then if you ignore them long enough, they'll just go away. They
Yeah, no,
literally will.
the thing though isn't that like my goal is not to persuade them.
I know.
My goal is to not make them the only voice being heard.
No, and I get that.
By the
And
people
that's
on the
respectful.
sideline.
That's respectable. But I mean,
So like there's a point where I do have to say things.
Yeah. Oh no, I
and there
agree
are
with
certain
that.
people I will block, and I will like. So I'll chime in when there's an actual argument being had, but then I block them when it goes to ad hominem.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Like
That's
once
fair.
they're not actually talking about the argument anymore, it's not
Yeah.
useful. But
Yeah. No, I don't mind talking to anybody if they're going to discuss the whatever the topic is civilly. I'll talk to anybody.
So part of the reason for debate is not just to convince your interlocutor to change their mind, but you're convincing your audience, right? So sometimes you might want to debate with idiots just for that.
Yeah, it's true.
yeah, because I can't let these jerks
Valid.
be the only voice that has a platform.
Right.
And so it
No,
sucks
I
that I have
respect
to
that.
defend myself, but like the thing is like these people win when we don't provide any resistance.
Yeah.
It's like they need to know they have opposition. And that's what frustrates them so much. And I'm happy that they're frustrated because like they're gonna have to deal with it because they're gonna get resistance. Yeah, acetaminophen can kill your liver. Yep, you got to be careful.
Okay,
Yep.
so what's worse on your liver, acetaminophen or NSAIDs?
Oh,
NSAIDs are hard on your kidneys.
acetaminophen.
And your stomach.
In the early
And your
days of
stomach.
Tylenol, emergency room doctors were absolutely frightened to death if a patient came in taking more than 1 gram of acetaminophen. Over time, they've learned that you can go up to 2, 3, and maybe even 4 grams of acetaminophen in a 24-hour period, and not kill somebody. But for a while, it was very scary.
I thought acetaminophen attacked the kidneys more, whereas the NSAIDs was more
No.
liver.
You have it backwards.
Flip that around.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I do have it backwards.
And I know this.
NSAIDs for,
I know this to be
NSAIDs
true.
for kidney.
I know
That's
this to be true because I only have 1 kidney. And
And
they
then
told me, do not take the only thing you can take that's an over-the-counter painkiller is Tylenol. Don't take a lot of it. You're going to hurt your liver. Great.
And
What am I
Ben,
supposed to do?
Ben, I apologize for stepping on your toes there. When Tylenol was first coming out, I was working in acid rescue and drug overdose rescue and stuff like that, and it was just something that became part of my life and my knowledge base. That's where all that comes from, and I'll shut up now, doctor.
Okay, yeah.
No, you're good.
Actually, Ben, since I've got you here, this is a good question. Is that, with my arthritis and all, I wind up having to take painkillers most days. So, if you've got to take them for something like that, what's the best thing that you can take that's not going to screw up something internally?
I mean, everything's going to mess you up internally.
Yeah, I know.
That's the
Which one's
problem.
going to do the least damage?
The least damage? It depends. It really depends. Because the NSAIDs are going to be, like, the biggest worry about NSAIDs is gastritis. And then, like, of course, with Tylenol, the biggest worry is your liver. And then, of course, with opioids, we have whole things with leukocytosis. We have risk for diabetes. We have all kinds of that stuff. So,
Well, as far
like,
as
without
gastro
knowing
issues,
what
as far as gastro issues, I also suffer from the acid reflux, so I don't know how much.
then NSAIDs are going to be the worst for you. Because those will give you ulcers. and make your heartburn worse.
I can describe for you my chronic pain profile. What the doc does with me is, because I can't have NSAIDs, because, well, the stomach, of course, and the potential damage, but the blood thinning effect of them, because I'm on warfarin, I'm not supposed to take NSAIDs at all.
Yep.
And so they have me on because I have a chronic pain condition of some fairly severe pain, they've got me on Tylenol number 3s, which are just coating with a single, 500 milligrams of acetaminophen, which is one high strength.
Yeah, this is a loaded conversation because like pain control is very individualized, and there's a lot of nuance that goes into pain control. And without knowing your medical history, and without knowing like the full extent of your case and like what is going on with your case, it'd be very hard for me to give like an actual recommendation.
Well, yeah, I understand that's with most medical questions. Yeah, with most medical questions, it comes to that if you don't have the patient's background, it's hard to really give much advice.
I miss.
Yeah, actually, Cadence, yes, Aleve does give you increased risk for gastritis, and it could be preventing your ulcer from healing.
They told me with asthma to stay away from them. The NSAIDs.
Yes, especially aspirin is not great for people with asthma because
Really?
you often, if you have asthma, you have a sensitivity to aspirin.
Wow, I did not know that.
Did not know.
Yep.
So this is a fun little rabbit hole because earlier today during class, I was covering the chapter on sensation perception, and when we got to cutaneous perception, I focused on pain and the gate theory of pain, and my thrust was that a lot of what we consider pain is absolutely has some biological components, but there's such a strong psychological component. I'm sure you all saw where this was going as soon as I started talking. But I think that at the end of and of course, this doesn't really have much to do with NSAIDs and like chronic pain and stuff like that. But one of the things that I was able to, that I actually saw like lights going on in my students' minds about the whole psychological component of pain is when I started talking about phantom pain. I was like thinking about it like this. If you don't think that pain has anything to do with psychology, why is it the case that for people who have to have limbs removed or amputated for whatever reasons, afterwards they claim to feel pain in the appendage that no longer exists? If that's not psychological, then I don't know what is.
Yeah,
Absolutely
I can personally
true. It
attest
happens
to
all the
something like
time.
that. But I have 3 fingers that got accidentally amputated at the top knuckle. And there are days the fingertips itch so bad it drives me mad, and there's no way to scratch it.
Oh, that must be infuriating.
Oh, dear Lord.
Here's something interesting there, Christopher, that you'll enjoy. So there's all these people that are amputees don't have a hand, and they're having problems with their hand. They're like the hand's clenched all the time. Like one guy, he had his right hand in his head that was gone, clenched so hard it was causing pain all the way up his forearm. So this new doctor came in and was like, "Hey, let's try something different." And the guy had never seen this doctor before, and so he put a mirror there and had him put his right hand behind the mirror, right, and his left hand here, and he said, "Put your hand in a fist, put it in front of the mirror. Okay, now look at your other hand in the mirror and release." And he was like, "Oh, thank you."
That is fantastic.
And
I've
it's
heard about
amazing
that mirror
because
therapy.
in his head,
Yeah.
he saw this hand. In his head was this hand because he saw it in that mirror, and he released it. And he finally, and it had been going on for months and months, and they didn't know what to do for him.
I've heard about them using that as therapy, and that some patients have gotten really miraculous results with that.
Yeah.
There are many studies out there about that phenomenon. I forget the official name of it, but I remember reading about it in my psych courses back in the 70s. It's really an amazing phenomenon.
Can I respond to Cadence's question? Because I
Would
wasn't
you?
able to get to that one.
Oh, let me go back up here so everybody knows what you're talking about. Go ahead.
Because that one was Tylenol is probably your best option if you have ulcers. But then I also want to address is aspirin an NSAID? Yes, it is. It works slightly differently because most NSAIDs are COX-2 inhibitors only, and aspirin is both a COX-1 and a COX-2 inhibitor, which is why you get the antiplatelet effects due to COX-1 blocking, COX blocking. but you get weird stuff with asthma because within that pathway, so you're inhibiting production of prostaglandins, which is great. That gives you the anti-inflammatory. But the problem is when you block the pathway to produce prostaglandins, you shunt everything into the leukotriene pathway, and leukotrienes are the main mediator for asthma. So if you're producing more leukotrienes, then you're inducing asthma attacks. So that's why they would be sensitive.
So if you're asthmatic, that would be a bad idea then.
So I've
Yeah.
done that. So that's how I learned. You're gonna learn. They're like,
Don't
they're like,
stay away from aspirin.
so you have arthritis. What have you been taking for it? And they're like, oh, learning process. Yeah.
There you go.
Could I just clarify something I said earlier? I mentioned that I'm on
Yes.
Well, she just
And she
TC'd.
lost her connection.
Yeah.
Food.
I think she was
I'll
gonna
let
say I
her when she gets
mentioned
back.
that I was on my, and I'm thinking mobile, and then she like flung out.
No, I think she was talking about the warfarin.
Oh, okay. Did you
So-
shoot her
She'll
out
be
the
back.
airlock by
Might be.
accident? Don't hit the red button.
She'll be back in a minute.
Famine.
I think the kitty hit the keyboard is what happened.
So Ben,
Okay, but
Oh,
Ben,
wait. Minnow.
Yeah.
You were called Suitor 2.0. This is Nick Suitor 1.0.
This is one. I'm apparently
Commander,
I'm the
that is
beta
the reason.
apparently.
Yeah.
But I reached out to her on Discord and said hello too. But yeah, this is that Nick. Apparently somebody had said Minnow was Nick Suitor 2.0. So take it for what it's worth. That could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It depends on who you ask.
go watch a few episodes of In Time and decide for yourself.
Oh well, there you go. Can't argue with that logic.
It's probably
Yes,
one
that
of
is
the
the
funniest
reason,
insults I've ever seen. Like, Suitor 2.0.
Yeah, it's surprising how many things people have said to insult me that I took as compliments.
I'm not sure. I didn't see the original comment. I have no idea how it was intended, and it's funny either way. So,
Oh, it's funny.
but yeah, nice to So I reached out to Savage Minnow and said hello, and I'm not. I've got enough stuff I'm administrating anyway. But I figured if she wanted a little help setting up her Discord or anything like that, I'd be happy to do it. There are people more qualified than me in that same Discord, but certainly.
I don't know shit.
Yeah, you gotta protect your
I have a
Discord from
Discord
getting
server. I don't know
brigaded and
shit.
stuff.
I need somebody to go like admin mine for free because I have no money.
Well, I'm not going to admin it, but I offered to help set up on Tangelo's too. I disagree with basically everything
On
he says, but
Tangelo.
I was just like, it's because I believe in the strength of my positions. It doesn't hurt me to have him go up and have a place where people can discuss it. So if he wants to set something up, but I think he may have given up on it after what happened on day one when he gave everybody administrative privileges and invited 300 atheists to the room.
Oh, that
Right.
sounds like a
Tangelo
bad
is
idea.
my god, okay?
Yeah.
I have no
This-
problems handling my Discord because I simply don't tell anyone it's there.
Well,
Makes
I just
administration
figure, I've tried to like make groups on Twitter before and it died out after a couple months. So I figure if it lasts and people stay in there, then I'll worry about it.
Mm.
But it's like a private server anyways. Like I only have so many people in there,
I only got on Discord because some of the people I stream with don't have Twitter to send me the links.
Yeah. Or
Yeah, I have
never
a
check
Discord
their
now.
Twitter like Dick. He's never checks his Twitter anymore.
Well, Dick tends to get blocked and banned on Twitter about once a month.
That's because he's a dick.
Hmm?
That is actually part of it, yes. Well, he's not Canadian, actually, so.
I think on Tangelo's on the recent Tom Rabbit video that I watched, I think today, with Darth, and he was like explaining to Darth Dawkins like how he's like, yeah, well, people tell me how nice I am and how I ought not to be friends with you, and Darth's like, ha 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 ha. And it's just like, it was the weirdest thing.
I thought his debate with Godless Granny was spectacular. I mean, I was a little curious. I've never seen Godless Granny debate before, and I mean, Tangelo doesn't necessarily have spectacular debating skills, but that's not always a plus either, because how do you deal with it? Okay, if he's just reading material back and forth, and how do you do it without looking, like a schmuck when you're sitting there going like, okay, you're not answering the question. And she just did oh wow, that was a lot of fun. She did spectacularly well, I thought.
I know somebody's trying to get in. I don't know who the hell it is, but yeah.
Yeah, put the
Is it
handle in the
Tangelo?
side chat and see if anybody knows him.
It's a Tangelo.
Well,
He is
you
my
know what?
god. A Tangelo's my god.
Wait a minute. I'm confused.
Yeah, then again, in StreamYards, it's pretty easy to kick somebody if they start getting out of line.
Well, I'm confused why I'm allowed to have 10 people and I have 9, and it just said no one else is allowed in. So,
oh,
Do you have somebody in the back
that's
room right
what
now?
I'm confused about right now.
That is odd.
That's really weird.
I just had
No.
10 people in here because Jenny was in here before she dipped back out and lost connection again. And now it says I can't let anybody in.
Oh Jesus, yeah. I had that problem once. I mean, I use StreamYards, and it doesn't realize their connection's dead, and it can take a few minutes for the
Okay,
connection
so
to
if I
reset,
wait a
depending
minute,
on
she'll
how they
probably
got
pop
booted.
up. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it-
10 people does not count people in the back room. You can have 10 people on screen, and you can still have a couple of people in the back room waiting.
Yeah, you can have as many as you like, I think, in the back room. But so because someone had their connection severed, it waits in case they're trying to like reconnect, and even if they try to reconnect, it doesn't usually recognize it. So until it times
And by
out,
the way, no, it usually won't let me put more than 10 people in the back. I mean, it's done this before.
Oh, really?
But maybe it was the same situation. Maybe somebody got kicked.
Yeah, no,
I'd
because
have- I'd have to
I've
think about
been
that.
in the back room chats waiting my turn when there were 10 people on the screen.
Ben, whose
Mm-hmm.
Discord is that?
Mine.
Okay, that's Ben's Discord. Well, you didn't label it. You just stuck it in the chat.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
I just stick
That's
links
Ben.
places and hope people click on them.
Yeah. Just throw that out there. Let's see what
that
happens.
works. I just click on every link I see compulsively.
And then he's
so
like,
that works
why
out
do I
great.
have these turfs following me? How did this happen?
I was gonna share your link, but I can't share. It won't let me
I'm
invite
noticing a
people out
pattern.
to your Discord. So you're gonna have to share your own link.
I didn't want you to share not my server link. That's only for who's in there,
Okay,
which is mostly like trans and gay people.
fair enough.
Just so no one else is offended that's not in it. It's mostly that.
Well, everyone's welcome into my group. So
I just joined it.
There you go. There you go, Ben. See, by being selfish, I'm pushing people your way. You're welcome.
I joined it. I'll behave though, I promise.
yeah, I'll
I
boot
don't
people
promise.
that are bad.
I've had enough Bobs for a lifetime. I think I'm too concerned that Bob is going to be the central topic of conversation. So I'll
Probably.
pass. Yeah.
That's fair. We talk about Bob and Himalayan salt dildos. So,
Oh man,
No,
don't
that's
we
still-
have
that's
to
still on
though?
the- yeah.
mm.
I mean,
Hey,
think
Kyle, buddy,
Bob,
here you go.
Really?
Hey,
you go,
there you go. Appreciate it, Ollie.
Oh, Marie's awesome, Jenny, but don't harass her too much. Marie, did you have a link to my Discord? Are you in there too? Did I give you a link, or were you linked? I can't remember.
If you need space, I can bail. So
No, that's not what I meant on my Discord.
Oh,
There was certain people I'm creating a little safe haven space group thing for people. So I'm just keeping it to people that we've all been around each other for a long time.
She made a cult. He made a cult. He's a cult leader.
Yes. It is
Mine's an
B's
actual
BF
cult, though. Join my cult because we have dildos.
Now we
Yeah,
have
yeah.
competing cults. I don't
Himalayan
know which
salt
cult will
dildo.
survive.
Oh,
Come
but
on,
do
rub
you
You
that
guys
have
out.
want to take a
better-
block of
Cool.
salt
I think
up
that
your
would feel.
butthole? It'll be a fun time.
I think the deciding factor should be who has the best Kool-Aid.
Nick. I would do
That is-
anything.
I still have a
for
question
love,
about the salt and the dildo and why it's going together.
I couldn't help it.
That
I'll
was-
build a better cult with blackjack and hookers.
Of course you are.
It's already been
Catnip.
done though.
Which cult does that? I mean, let me know. I'd be interested in. I'll research it. If you let me know the name.
It's called like every casino in America.
Oh, that's not a cult. That's just a scheme.
It's not.
Get rich quick scheme.
I'm calling
Mikey,
you
do you want in?
Mikey.
Speak, Mikey, speak.
I firmly believe that the most common reason for men to change religion is to get with a cute woman.
Yeah.
I think that's a good theory. Probably the most common reason to leave religion too.
I can confirm that happens. My adopted dad became Catholic so he could get married to a Catholic, and then like months later was like, no, I don't believe this. Goes getting back.
I spent 25 years in the pagan community, and virtually every straight guy I met in that community had done it because of a girl he wanted to be with.
Uh-oh. All hail Bob.
Bob is great. Not amazing, not omnipotent. Bob is great. I fucking love it, Ollie. I really do. Every time you put that up, I want to do that, and I decide I'm just going to do it.
Bit of trivia. Every Bob Ross painting is actually the scene of where he hid one of the bodies. That's why he doesn't want anybody to mention about where he put that cute little bush.
Oh, snap. Damn. Shit getting
So
real
I was
up in here.
dating a girl back in my teens for a couple of weeks, and she took me to church with her one Sunday. She was Pentecostal. I never saw her again.
Wow. How was that experience for you?
It was
I'm not sure how
not
to
good.
take that.
Crazy shit happened in that church.
Was there like speaking in tongues and
Yes.
falling on the spirit,
there
like
was.
slaying? Okay, yeah.
I slipped and I fell on it. Oops.
I fell on my Himalayan salt dildo.
Hmm.
How'd that get in there?
What's bib talk, Leanne? What's
Assault
BIB?
dildo sounds very painful.
Bible talk?
Does not sound smooth.
No.
Bib talk.
You know what also sounds
Jenny.
really great?
Oh, Bob talk. No, we actually
Bob
just
talk,
started
oh.
Bob talk.
You know what? You
That
know
was
what
my
also
fault.
sounds really
Sorry.
great along the lines of the Himalayan salt dildos? Rock candy. Like on the stick.
Pop rocks?
Yeah.
Oh, rock candy, rock
Another
candy.
rock candy Christmas. Oh, sorry.
That was hard candy.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's close enough. It's the same shit.
That's
It is
Dolly,
rock
right? Everybody
candy,
likes
it's just-
Dolly.
It's hard candy, rock candy, whatever.
Well, it's not quite the same. I mean, at least a giant peppermint stick is smooth. That wouldn't hurt as much as the rock candy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rock candy is
Lady
jagged.
used to. She was a truck driver, and she used to come in and bring in that shatter candy stuff that they like put in a sheet and they smash it. And she brought in a bunch of that shit for Christmas. Oh my god, that was good fucking candy. Like it was just the best junk food. I mean, that's not chocolate.
Where I lived in Michigan, there was this small candy company that you could buy just the bags of the broken pieces, basically the factory rejects.
Yeah. I'm
You know,
totally
and
fine with
it's
that.
like-
yeah.
Yeah. Well, they were like a third the price of the candy canes or whatever. And it's
Yeah.
like it all tastes the same. What's it
Yeah.
matter?
I'm gonna chew it
Yeah.
up anyway, right? I
But
don't
that was
even
some
know
of the
why-
best peppermint because, you know, they used a lot more of the real peppermint oil. So you tasted the peppermint, not just the sugar.
Hey, Purple, maybe you remember. Do you remember back when I think the first time I ever had one, I was like 3 or 4 years old. So let's go with 74, 75 time range. We were at a place called Fort New Salem, and they had, you know, the old-fashioned candy shop with the 2 P's and the E, right? And they had this stick candy, and it was like a little crunchy, sugary layer on the outside. And then there was like this, I don't know how to describe it. Like really soft candy around that inside that, and it was either like vanilla or whatever, and then they add something else, and they had these vanilla ones that had cinnamon in the middle, and the middle was more of like a filling consistency, and they were just the best fucking, and I'll be damned if I can find them anywhere. I think they just quit making them, but they are the best fucking candy in the world, man. So good. So good. And they had like all natural flavors and like real cinnamon in it. And it was just my favorite fucking thing. Cinnamon.
No, I'm
Cinnamon
not
vanilla
remembering
stick.
that. I'm not sure what you mean there.
Oh God, they were so good.
They had
They're
cinnamon Coca-Cola at Christmas time last year, and it was the bomb. I love
Dude,
it.
I missed it. I didn't even see that where I live.
It's so good. I love
That's
it.
what I heard. I
Okay,
love
part of
cinnamon.
it depends on where you live. If you like trying all that new stuff, you need
Mm-hmm.
to move to Minnesota. Because in like 1990, they determined that Minneapolis-St. Paul was the demographically average city. So they get test marketed for everything. Every time a company comes out with a new product, it
That's
shows up in Minneapolis for 3 months and then disappears.
Doesn't that
And
mean
then a
that they
year
are
or two later, they'll decide if they bring it back.
doesn't that mean that they are no longer the demographically average city if they are targeted by these new products at a rate like 6 million times the average, the national average?
Yeah, but I mean, I've gotten flavors of Pepsi here that no one else had ever heard of.
That's awesome.
Let's keep
Like,
life
has
getting
anyone
boring.
else ever seen the blue Pepsi?
Yeah, I think I did actually. Yeah.
They did the Pepsi Clear for a while, and then the next one after that, they came out with blue Pepsi.
Yeah, I saw
And
the
I
blue
still have
one,
no
yeah.
idea why it was blue. That had nothing to do with the flavor.
Sorry, Mikey. We started talking. I forgot. See, I'm just like you, man. Forgot all about your ass. How's it feel, man? How's it feel? No, I'm kidding. There's a couple times like they started the after party, and then I hit them all on Twitter like 5 minutes before it started, and then it was like, and this one time it was funny. It was like 40 minutes into it or something, and I started commenting in the chat, and Neil goes, "Hey, bees, let B in." And I'm like, dude, I've been trying. Nobody's paying attention to me. So now we're even, Mikey. No more of that.
Okay, chocolate by itself is great, but it can definitely be improved with other things, especially caramel.
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 Mikey's
Peanut
back.
butter.
Hello, Mr. Famine.
What the hell,
Hey,
man?
Mikey.
Where's your hat?
How
That's
is
the first
how
time
is
I've ever
business?
seen you without a hat on. Or you
How's
just got it
business,
backwards.
Famine?
No, my hair's in braids, so it's just hanging
Mr.
right now.
Married.
I am Mr. Married. Yeah.
Mr. Married.
Got
That's
married,
all.
and that's it. It's all braids
Congratulations.
now.
It's all downhill from here now.
So is that why your hair's all braided?
Yes, I wanted to look great in my gown at the ceremony. So I had some pressure. No, we went on a cruise, so I knew I was going to be in and out of the ocean a lot. So it's a way
okay.
to preserve my poor little hair.
No, I just meant that was just the common thing with my fiance, that I would sit on the floor in front of her and she would play with my hair endlessly.
Yeah, we just got back today, so it was a lot of fun. It was 11 days away from home, 3 days in Galveston, and 4 days on the ship. So
Nice.
good times.
Yeah.
So did you
Good,
do the
man. I'm glad you guys had a
podcast
good
last night
time.
from the hotel?
I'm sorry.
You did the bin last night, didn't you?
No, I told everybody. I warned her. I was like, "Yo, for 2 weeks, I'm telling all of you to fuck off. Just know that that's coming," and I meant it. I
It's
popped
okay.
in Neil's for Isla's after party for about 30 seconds, and I was like, "That's it."
It's okay. I took over Not One Heroes yesterday, so
That's okay. I got a lot.
It
of,
was fun, man. I'm like, I
got
want
a-
in on the next one.
I got a lot of people in coveralls heading over to your location as we speak.
okay. That's
They
fine.
have a bunch of tire irons. And they're going to give you what they call a tune-up. So
Hey, the audience loved it, so
I don't.
I thought you did great, Ben.
and it sounds like we're gonna bring back this cast of characters for one shots in the future. So
Until
I've got
I
a
kill them.
world to build now, apparently.
There might be more things on the way. I don't want to reveal too much.
Okay. Yeah.
But there might have to be a real, honest, genuine need for all of our friends to play because I'm going to be killing the shit out of everyone.
What? Why?
There's going to be a lot of character death, and this is what happens
Ben,
when you
remind
get
me not
Mikey.
to play with Mikey with a
Well,
new character.
I just be aware that I play games that you can't lose or you die.
Tubi, and I just want to say the clear Pepsi, they just left the caramel color out of it. They color that stuff that color. It's clear to begin with. So,
just taste
no
it.
violence in this stream, Mikey. Damn it. Bastard.
I got a noise. Something is like doom doo doo doom doo doo doom doo doo doom. It's driving.
I don't know what that is, Mikey.
That sounds like a phone, but who knows?
Minnesota also gets all sorts of experimental cereal and baking products because we've got General Mills here.
We need the experimental
Nice.
cereal for Barrios.
Yes. What you got, Purple? What's good?
Yeah, most of it winds up being the same cereal, just with different colors or with different kinds of marshmallows, unfortunately. They don't come up with much that's really original.
Oh.
Yeah.
But what's interesting was nobody liked the clear Crystal Coke, the clear stuff, even though it's the exact same flavor. There's no difference. They just didn't color it, and people hated it. And it gets back to the how much of your mind plays into what you like or don't like, and what you're expecting versus. They're identical drink, and nobody liked it.
Well, yeah, just looking at a food product, you develop some expectations before you taste it.
Hey,
And if it doesn't taste what you're expecting, like that
first.
throws you off.
Yeah, I was expecting Matty to have a whole bunch on that one, but it just reminded me of what he was saying about also about the Phantom Pain. But yeah, the definitely how you perceive it by looking at it has such a huge impact on whether or not you like it.
Expectancies shape perception, right? Perception is super malleable, and we eat with our eyes first. And so that's why like certain gourmet meals have an aura about them because of the time and place and the plating and the burr. But
Pleasing to the eye as well as the palate.
Well, the palate begins with the eye, some would say.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I'm just
absolutely.
saying, like that's the rule.
Yeah. So, but I mean, you could break it down to super to less elegant examples, right? So, like, there have been experiments done where they've made grilled cheeses and added food color to the grilled cheese and given it to kids to see if they would eat it. And kids are super reluctant to eat like a blue grilled cheese sandwich.
Ouch. What the hell is that? Who's playing a game?
That's loud, whatever it is.
Okay, who's firing lasers?
Makes me want to sing.
It's really loud.
I'm gonna guess
Kick
it's Mikey.
Mikey's ass.
It's Mikey.
We can't hear you
Can't
talk,
hear you,
Mikey.
Mikey.
We
We
can't
can only
hear
hear your speakers.
You can only hear your audio. Yeah.
He
doesn't
doing
look
that.
happy.
Kick you.
But whatever game you're playing sounds delightful.
Turn your mic and mute yourself while that's on. That's loud.
Yeah, that shit is loud.
Yeah, I think he switched to the wrong audio source.
Something happened there.
Now we can hear a cricket.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
Kyle?
And the keyboard.
I'm telling you, every time I'm on a stream, there's crickets.
I was just listening to music and I thought we were on a quest. What's happening?
Music engineers be music engineering.
Word.
I'm sitting here playing Diablo 3 saying, that's not the right music.
Oh, that's right. The Diablo 3 season ends at the end of the month. Is that right? Like, so in just a few more days?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't. This is the first time I'm doing anything this season. I just started doing it. I'm kind of new to the game.
Oh well, I'll let me know later on sometime. Hit me up. I'll do a run with you, and I'll get you some good stuff. It's really good about letting
Well,
you.
I'm Paragon level 600 and something now. So.
Oh, okay. So you're not gonna need my help.
Okay, Commander 401 saying, what about them trying to find universal warning smells to evacuate a building? Like fish smell would get Western Europeans to leave, but cinnamon scares off Asians. If you're trying to get a smell to evacuate a building, why don't you just pump something that smells like sewer gas through the air vents?
I mean, really, shit is universally bad. It's a fact.
So it just so happens.
Yeah, it just so happens. Yeah, here we go.
So it just so happens we did a study on cultural malodors, cross-cultural malodors. So I actually have an answer to that. So it just so happens that depending on what culture you're raised in, the things that are determined good or bad smelling are very fickle, and it's not that bad. So we're a very sterile society, so we think that shit smells bad. And I'm not saying that there are cultures that think that shit smells good, but for those cultures that don't have plumbing, they're used to the smell of shit. And it's not that they think it's good. It's just that they don't think it's as bad as we think it is. And so because of that, it's not a universal deterrent in the way that you would think it is.
Yeah, it's true.
So if you were to Google stench soup, you will most likely find articles about my boss, and her name is Pamela Dalton. And we developed stench soup as a cross-cultural malodor that is a combination of things that are bad, so that no matter what culture you are from, there is a component of this that would knock you the fuck out.
Wow.
Wow, yeah. I don't want to know what went into the making of that, but my assumption is a lot of interns doing a lot of testing.
Well, you have to understand that in my fume hood, I have things that are named putrescine, cadaverine, skatol, right? So skatol, just like scat. Scat is just another term for shit.
Yeah.
Right. And then also we do research having to do with, so the question that was originally asked has more to do with natural gas than maybe you think, because natural gas doesn't have an odor. We place an odor or fragrance into natural gas so that if there is a leak, there is a signal that warns us that there is a leak, right? But the concentration of that fragrance needs to be checked every couple of years based on technology, and we happen to be one of the labs that's doing the research on that right now.
Nice.
And the thing that makes it weird is the recipe fragrance of natural gas isn't the same federally. You'd think that, you know, there would be like one stock recipe for natural gas, and there's not. And it makes sense that there isn't, because depending on where you live, temperature, humidity, things like that, certain off gases, certain combinations of gases, certain temperature conditions prevent certain odorants from being used. So while all of them have a top note, right? So when you talk about odors, you have to think music. There's a top note, middle note, bottom note. The top note of most natural gas is mercaptan, is T-butyl mercaptan. So all of them have that as the top note. So that makes it easier to study. But the secondary and tertiary notes are a little bit different for each of them. So that makes it a little bit more wacky. But yeah, the question that was asked is almost like the question that is asked for why we put fragrance into natural gas. And the reason why it works in our culture is because we recognize it as a non-kitchen odor, right? With natural gas mostly feeding our stoves and furnaces and stuff, so that it is absolutely a signal of a warning distal signal, if you will.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, that's not going to be mistaken for rotting food or something.
Let me say this real quick, Christopher. You are infinitesimally interesting.
I appreciate that.
It is bottomless.
I disagree. I think that the shit that I know is boring as fuck, but
I wouldn't say boring.
I
think that's pushing it.
I'm like, I never thought stinky's not always stinky. Sometimes stinky's not so stinky, and not so stinky is really stinky sometimes.
I love it. Hey man, I love the smell of my own farts.
That was your
Wow.
information that
Can't
you gave
say
to
that.
us.
That's something
Yeah,
that
I
was
can't
inside me that I wanted to share with you.
Yes, just like
Layers.
Matty, you don't have to share every thought that enters your head.
Coming from you, Nick?
Okay. You know what? All right. Touche. That's fair.
Nick. Did you mean to have your camera on? You're like facing the wall here.
All right, gas, let's talk about it. As a doctor, how uncomfortable is it when your patient just has a lot of gas?
Could be worse.
Have you run into that yet?
Well, there are times when I really care if someone's having gas. Usually it's a good thing if they are. So, because I'd rather them have it than not.
No, just let them swallow.
Congratulations, you farted. This is awesome. No, I was
Yeah,
kidding.
because it means they're not obstructed. It's nice. It's great.
Oh, you guys in the chat.
For everyone who was wondering, the cruise was great, and COVID was not an issue.
Nice. That's cool.
That's
We
great.
were at half capacity. I must have sanitized my hands at least 756,000 times.
Yeah, when I first heard you were on a cruise, I was actually a little worried.
I was too, but it's like they always say, the safest place is the bank the day after the robbery, right? Like there
Right.
was no fucking, like, everyone had to be vaccinated. There was probably, I'd say, like 60 kids out of 2,000 people.
Wow.
And they weren't allowed to do shit. I'm like, yo, why did you bring them? Like, they can't do any, because if you weren't vaccinated, you weren't allowed in places where people had their masks off. Like, they just wouldn't, like, oh, they did a crew performance of Grease. Yeah, no kids. There was a section for people who were unvaccinated, aka kids, all at the very, very, very top floor, all the way away from everybody else in the theater. I was like, yeah, you probably should have kept them at home for all this shit, because they can't do nothing. They couldn't go on excursions. They couldn't do shit.
Well, what I understand's gotten a bunch of people upset is that DeSantis in Florida said that the cruise lines can't require people to be vaccinated to board the ships.
Oh, okay.
But, well, a bunch of these people, after they got on the ship, got all pissed off because they weren't allowed to leave the ship at any port it came into.
Yep. Have
All
fun
I'm
on the
gonna
boat.
say, cruise line, private business, he can suck it.
Oh, Wuhan, I didn't even see you down there. When'd you pop in here?
I've been here for a while.
Hi.
But I mean, isn't that kind of pointless if you go on a Caribbean cruise and you can never get off the boat?
Then you should probably go get your sticky then.
Yeah.
Get your sticky and don't complain about it.
Yeah.
And the next thing that's going to happen too is they're just going to go to another. They're going to pick the people up at another state, because you can't go to Florida, because if that's going to be the condition, the business is going to die. So he's just killed all the business in Florida.
Well, and one thing I'm really glad that we went, even though, I mean, we're both me and my wife are both vaccinated, but I'm really glad we went, because the islands that are visited by these cruise ships, they really need the tourist bucks. Like, they really needed us to be down there. Like, there's not a lot going on down there, and they've been 6, 8, 12 months waiting for the ships to be able to come back, because that was like 75% of their GDP was tourists, and no one came for months and months, and they just had to figure out. So I'm like,
I mean, that's what happened to the town that I'm near, because it's a fucking tourist town. It's historical, so everybody wants to go and see this, and people from all around us come in and out of here all the fucking time. But then they started shutting all the businesses down, and then limiting them when they did start opening them back up and everything. And I mean, some of these people there's restaurants that are closed and stuff because they couldn't survive it.
Yeah,
they're just fucked.
Well,
Mom
that's
and pop joints.
where I had been living in Upper Michigan, I still have a lot of family up there. It's like everything was fine there. Not a single case of COVID for like 5 counties until the summer season started and people from Chicago and Wisconsin started coming up to their lake homes.
Yep.
Then it exploded.
Yep. Lollapalooza had like 60,000 people with no masks on. And then that I really think that's what single-handedly created the Delta variant. I was like, you motherfuckers. You motherfucker. Like, oh my God. Like, I'm really just trying to get on this cruise ship and you guys are trying to fuck this up for me. You're trying to fuck this up for me. And they did. So we had to get like, this was the second or third cruise that we on our list because the first one got canceled. Fucking people.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna ask everybody to use hand sanitizer so we can fucking go back to normal life if we can even remember what that is.
You know, that's the other weird thing. It's like, you know, a year or so ago, I was mailing hand sanitizer to people all across the country because nobody could find it.
Yep.
Now I literally cannot give the stuff away.
Right.
Menards had it free after rebate, so I got some extras. And literally, I've been trying to give it away. I left some in the community room in our building. It's been sitting there for like 3-4 days and nobody's taken it.
That's so weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's unsettling.
So I've had no access to like the news. I've been getting notifications. So yeah, Ben, I've been carefully watching your coup from a distance.
Yeah, it was delicious.
I mean, I see it. I see it for what it is. And just know that my wrath will be quick and brutal.
Am I really the one you're taking it out on, not the one that let me on?
Oh, he's got his coming. He's got his coming. Been watching all of you with a careful eye.
Got it.
Oh,
okay.
Who jumped ship?
Well, you know, with Ben sitting with that background, I think he needs a coffee cup that says this is fine.
I could put up my background being the map that I'm working on right now. For my the world building that I'm doing for my coup world.
My coup world.
That's fine.
Oh, Ben has his way, Mikey. You're going to be seeing more of me. Sorry, dude.
I don't know what I did to deserve any of this, but it's fine. I mean,
we told you not to get married, man. You didn't listen. No, I'm kidding.
I didn't know that meant just like I wouldn't have anything to come back to. I thought it was adding something to my life, but apparently
Neil's all independent.
Right.
Your D&D's taking it. What happened on the bin? They all just forget about you, move on.
No, I told them like, hey guys, I'm back home, and they're like, who is this? Do we know you?
I mean, 2 weeks on YouTube. You know, lesbian time and YouTube time is kind of the same. 2 weeks gone on YouTube, that's like 4 months.
I've never officially been a lesbian, so I don't know.
Well, like the second date is like if you're together with someone for like 4 months, that's like a year in the lesbian world. Big time.
I met a few young ladies out there that were on their honeymoon as well.
There you go. There you go. Oh shit.
You also
went
hear
to
my
the gym
crickets?
this morning. I worked all day. I'm fucking tired. Yeah, Mikey. Be nice.
I've got a world to build too, but I'm short about 80 billion pieces of Lego.
Oh. Well, you should work on that. Make it
My
a
ex
goal,
used to
10 at
ask
a
me if
time.
I don't have enough Lego, and I kept saying that, no, not until I have enough to build a 1-to-1 scale model of the Earth. It can be hollow.
1-to-1 scale.
1 mile equals 1 mile.
Yep.
Right.
You might as well build a
Making
Death
sure
Star.
the lesbo movers. That's right. Making sure the third date is perfect for 20 years.
Hell yeah.
What I saw was she said lesbian moving company. What I saw was Lesbo Movers making your third date the best since 1972 or something like that. Yeah, whatever. Same diff.
I had a different variant on that. I always said that coming into a relationship, everyone has baggage. It's just a question of if yours is carry-on or do you need a U-Haul.
I have made comments like that as well, Purple. See, we think alike. So my comment is this. Everybody's got baggage. And I can help people with their baggage. But if you have a whole Samsonite set, you need to fix your shit. If you just have a carry-on, I will lug that bitch for you. I'll even pick up one suitcase. But I'm not taking the whole Samsonite set with me. I'm not being responsible for that. You carry your own luggage. When you get it down to 1 or 2 pieces, give me a shout.
So is this a variant of everyone's crazy? It's just a matter of what flavor crazy works with your crazy?
Oh, no, I absolutely agree with that. I think we're all a little crazy. We all have our weird quirks and, well, kinks. Yeah, those two. I didn't mean that, though. I meant quirks. We all have our own quirks, and we're all weird about our own shit in our own house and everything. You just have to find something that lines up with that, right?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I have my own kinks.
Yeah, there you go. Don't we all? Yep. Mikey's sad he's home because the boat's not going to do half the work for him now.
You're muted. You're muted, Mikey.
You're muted.
What do you know about the work I do and do not do? There's a lot of shit I don't do that you guys don't know about.
Back before you were born, I had a waterbed. Kiss my ass.
No. I'm just saying, how dare you assume I do any work at all?
Actually, I have no idea how old you are.
I do none work ever.
Yeah,
in my
no,
life
we
in
know.
all things possible. So,
oh, yeah, we know.
If you think in that area that I'm working hard, jokes on 2 of you all.
Actually, I'm probably the youngest one here, right? I'm 26.
How old are you, Mikey?
Oh, you guys should know. If you don't know, you have
Mikey's
to go.
34. I'm pretty sure Mikey's 34.
Is that your final answer?
Okay, time again to play how many people on this panel are younger than my daughters?
Win, Wildheart. And have you talked to him about that? I'll hang out with my brother on your stream. Let me know. See if I'm available. Cadence appeared and said, "Did someone say kinks?"
Hell yeah, we did.
Yep.
What you got, Cadence?
So I'm gonna make like a whole separate channel for me and the wife, and like whenever we travel, like we'll just do vlogs and shit like that. But a little spoiler here for you. Guess what I got to hold? A baby sloth.
Oh, shut up. Oh my God, how cute was it?
That cute.
It was that cute. I knew it.
Oh,
I could feel it.
It's so and then it was like apparently they sleep like 22 hours a day. So it was really sleepy when they like brought it over to us, and it was just like it's just everybody.
Its head's like this big, and it's cute
got
as fuck.
Really, really small head and a really, really tiny pupils. So
Yeah, with those big claws.
And they just like they rested the claws on his shoulders. Like, just put your hands out, and it's gonna sit in your butt. It's gonna sit its butt in your hands, and it's just gonna chill. And that's exactly what it did. It was just like, this is a really strange stream.
What's up? What's going on, everybody?
And we happened to like I didn't want to know what our excursions were, so we happened to watch Zootopia, and of course there was the fucking sloth dudes at the DMV, and then the next morning we went and held
the whole movie.
Zootopia is a fucking whole fucking thing, dude. Like, that movie is so fucking crazy. I'm like, yo, the references here are insane.
The opening line. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that's the one with the one of the main female characters is a rabbit,
a bunny, yeah,
a bunny, and the opening scene is her parents saying, "Do you ever wonder why me and your mom are so happy?" And she just goes, "Nope." I
Don't
laughed
wanna
so
know.
fucking hard.
You see, I think your problem is you're a trier. And I was like, yo, for trier to be a bad word, this movie has already got me hooked. Just hooked. I cannot look away from this movie. It was so good. So good.
It's awesome.
We luckily downloaded a few movies for Disney Plus while we were in Galveston while we had internet. So then at night on the ship, we had a balcony, so we would sit on the balcony at night on the back of the boat and listen to the churning of the motor and the fucking little waves it was making, and just watch something or fall asleep to something. Essentially,
Yeah.
we're getting old. We just slept.
Well, you know, man, part of being on vacation is relaxing. Like some people go on vacation, they just want to go the whole time. I'm like, you're gonna come back and be more tired than when you left.
We were
So
asleep.
just like, because it'll take, going on vacation could take a lot out of you. You have to set, like, if you're gonna go a whole week, you set aside 3 of those days to do shit. Just don't plan anything for those days, you know. And then if you decide to go out and do something random, you can, but you'll
This is
kill
a very
yourself, man.
controversial
Shit'll wear
topic.
you out. Very controversial topic. Who said that?
Oh yeah, because I know people who are like, no, you need an itinerary for your vacation.
No,
my mother being one of them. Right, I'm Italian, so imagine an Italian mom.
I don't know any Italians around here.
Give me a goddamn break. Oh, Maron, let's talk for about 20 minutes. So just imagine the biggest control freak of your life, who happens to be your mom, going on vacation. And so it's like, cool, vacation. I'm going to relax, sit by the pool. Nope. Oh, today we're doing this at this time and at this time and at this time. But we're not going to miss out on all the things that are around here. We need an itinerary. Meanwhile, people like me is like, man, this pool is awesome.
I want to spend more hours in here.
You know, I can go to a pool just like this around the corner of me, but this one's in Florida. Man, I want to be here for about 4 hours.
Nope.
That just drives people like my mom nutso crazy. I'm using my mom as the example, but you know, I know tons of people in my life that are like, vacation? Let's take 2 weeks and do everything. And I'm like, let's take 5 days and chill the fuck out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, when me and the Crazy X went to Mexico, we flew into Cancun and then took a bus down to the Riviera Maya, and it was great. We were there for like 2 weeks. We actually started getting bored. We were there for so long, and we did everything. We would like swam with the dolphins. We went snorkeling like I don't know how many days. We went on the trip to see the Mayan ruins,
temples,
the temples and stuff. Yeah, when we went there, they stopped on the way and they fed us, right? And they took us down there, and then they brought us all the way back, and you know, blah blah blah. Well, we went down there, and the food they made, because we stopped at this like little podunk town that had this like huge spread out, right? It was like some kind of deal they had with the bus company or something. I don't know. Anyway, so I ate 2 forkfuls of homemade like coleslaw. They must have cleaned it in the water. And I shit myself for 2 fucking days. I couldn't get off the toilet. 2 bites. That's how nasty that water is down there compared to what we're used to. Like we just can't. We're not used to it.
We got super close to Cancun.
Oh yeah?
We did Cozumel, Costa Maya, Rotan, Honduras, and Belize City, Belize.
Nice.
So all of which I had never been to before, which was very cool. Very, very cool.
Yo, show off that shirt, man. That's a hot pattern on your shirt.
Yo, this shirt is lit.
Yeah, my brother at his wedding in Cozumel.
Please.
I've never seen blue water until that point. Like, it's insane.
I know. That's how it was when I was in Mexico at the Riviera Maya. And let me tell you, we went like, this is the best time of year to go. We went at the end of the beginning of the last week of January. Or no, we went at, that's not right. Anyways, no, yeah, that was right. So we went in the last week of January and we came back on February 9th. And when we came back, they changed the law and required everybody to have a fucking passport to get to Mexico. We went with birth certificates. We were like, dude, we can get back in, right? And they were like, yeah, no, it's fine. I was like, well, you fucking scared me, man. I thought I was gonna be stuck here. But no, but it was a lot of fun, and the water was so incredibly blue, and we were snorkeling, and we were in this big ass bay, and it was partially like, well, most of it was netted off so nothing too big could get in from the ocean, right? And this freaking sea turtle went right underneath of me, and I reached out and I missed that sea turtle by like that much. I was so mad. I almost got to pet a sea turtle, but he was beautiful, and he was like that big around.
We didn't see any turtles. We saw dolphins in Galveston, but that was like the biggest thing we saw. Everything else was just like little bitty fish. We saw a couple of rays when we were snorkeling, but yeah, most of the stuff was like super small. We didn't get to see anything super big in the water, which probably makes me feel better.
Hey, Junie.
Well, you know what we ended up swimming with the next day after that happened? We were in this other bay, and a barracuda got in the bay, and we didn't know what the fuck it was. I knew it was something I didn't want to tangle with, but I was in the middle of taking pictures of these fish that were like Dory and Nemo and shit. Dory fish and clownfish and shit. There was all kinds of different ones. Even the one that had the one in Nemo, I don't know the kind of it. It was called Bubbles. That was in the fish tank. The yellow one? Tang, that's it. Thank you. There was yellow tang. That was really fucking cool, man. They were beautiful. And this fucking barracuda came out of nowhere. And I was taking pictures, so I took pictures of it. And so we went back and developed him, and we went to her stepdad and said, oh my God, hold on. I can't bring you in yet. I had to finish the story real quick. That's too exciting. Hold on. So anyways, we took pictures home and showed them to her father, her stepdad, who had been around the ocean his entire life, knew about boating and everything. And he said, that's a fucking barracuda. You ought to be glad you weren't wearing anything shiny. I said, oh, I had a necklace on, silver necklace, silver bracelet, all this shit. And he was like, God damn, you fuckers are lucky. So they go after shiny things. They totally should have attacked you.
Yeah, those things could take hunks out of your skin.
Hi,
Jen.
How are you?
I'm pretty good. Just got off my own stream, and I thought I'd come over and say hi. And I didn't get time to get dressed again. Sorry.
I didn't even know you were streaming till after we went live.
I forgot you were streaming. Yeah, no, it's all right. I forgot you streamed today, but it was the only time I could do the stream with Claire. It was the only time she had available this week to do it. So,
well, I got you afterwards, so I'm happy now.
So yeah. So if anyone wants to go and watch that later, if anyone wants context for why I'm naked, my video on masturbation got pulled down by YouTube.
Oh my God! I must not be totally a guy because I didn't even notice. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. So so yeah, so Claire and I said, right, we're going to do something about this, and we decided to stream and critique my entire video through, apart from the first little bit that is the bit that got it taken down. And we basically replayed that entire video in the stream, talked about it, had a bit of a laugh, and reiterated some.
Did you both do it naked?
Oh, she used a naked avatar. I did it naked to be in context.
Right.
Of it. But yeah, at some point I'll post the video back up without that first 18 seconds that they complained about. But they didn't even give me the option to delete the 18 seconds at the beginning and leave the stream up. They just took it down. 95,000 views just gone overnight.
Wow.
So I'm not happy about it, but it is what it is.
Oh my goodness.
Again,
well, I'm glad you're doing good.
The crickets.
Yeah, I am.
How's your brother doing?
He's still in. You knew he was back in Perth, didn't you? Yeah.
That he was back in the hospital?
I'm at home, but they flew him up because there was a problem with the stent that they put in. It was
okay.
Ben would be able to explain this better than me. But the stent for when they do a TIPS operation, they flow in two directions. And in one of the directions, it was flowing nearly 3 times as fast as what it should have been. And it was causing his ascites to build up, which is not what TIPS is supposed to do. It's supposed to stop it from building up.
Yeah, it probably got obstructed.
It did. They saw that in the ultrasound, but when they went in to try and fix it, they couldn't find the obstruction. So what they ended up doing was they replaced the stamp with a bigger one, and they've readjusted the flow rates with the larger one. So hopefully it's got the right flow rates now, but it's also got less chance of getting obstructed with anything. But yeah, he'd had it in less than a week, and they kept flying him back to Perth to have another operation. So,
oh jeez.
So joyous, but he's doing well.
Good.
He's still in Perth. They're going to fly him back down here when they're done. So I don't even have to go to Perth this time, which is kind of cool. It's made my life easier. But yeah, he's doing really well, and should be back this way before the end of the week. So that'll be good.
Yeah.
But yeah. No. Aside from that, he's fine.
Good. I'm glad he's doing better. It's awesome.
Yeah.
So you have more time to breathe now.
I do.
You've been really
I
busy
also
with
haven't
that.
been home much. I've been out nearly the entire weekend. So
okay.
I went out to a Speedway meet and discovered that exactly what I thought I knew about Speedway is that it's really boring watching cars go around in circles.
Yes.
It is.
Great if you want to
It's
take
the
a
most
nap.
boring spectator sport. I imagine
I
it's
sleep
really
so
exciting
well
if you're
during
driving.
races. Any race, I'm like,
yeah.
Drag races
Yeah,
are more interesting, but if they're going around in a circle, I'm sleeping.
Yeah,
I just fall asleep.
It's really kind of boring, but that's okay. It were nice people, and that was the reason why I went, because I joined a group that's a singles group in my area, but it's more about not everyone in it's a single, but it's mostly about meeting new people and extending your friendship thing. So that was the main reason why I went, to meet these people. And then whilst I was there, I got invited to the engagement party of 2 people who are members. So I went there on the Sunday. Then I went and had a video. I went and watched movies with my daughters and spent all of Monday in Albany with them. So I've been a dirty stop out most of the time,
right?
Which is good, because I've enjoyed that. But
yeah, no, you needed a break. You were.
No, I feel rejuvenated. I haven't had much sleep, but I feel completely rejuvenated, which is a good thing. So it's good.
Yes, Jenny, you can blame it on me for having too many people in here. I know I'm horrible.
Yeah,
there's too many people on the panel, and it
dumps Jenny
kicked her.
Oh, poor Jenny.
Yeah, and when StreamYard is having any problems, it does dump on people who have the mobile app. It doesn't seem to handle the mobile app well if it's doing anything else.
I've only streamed one time on my phone, and that's because I was in the middle of a stream and my electricity went out, and my fucking laptop was trying to charge, and my Wi-Fi went out because my electricity went out, so I had to use my phone. So I went out to my truck and put my earbuds in and talked like that for a little bit till the power came back on. It was fucking horrible.
There you go, Ben. That's the little tiny patch that I have that I can only wear on my arms and not where I'm supposed to wear it on my abdomen.
Ah, yeah. The patch.
Fair enough.
Yeah, I think it's just it's fascinating.
Why can you only wear it on your arm?
Well, the current theory is because I get allergic reactions to the glue in it if I wear it on my abdomen.
Oh, okay.
And
to the adhesive.
To the adhesive, but I don't get the allergic reaction on my arms. The current theory for why that is because of me being intersex, being chimeric, so that different parts of me are allergic to different things, which is weird.
Right.
But kind of cool too.
So can I ask you a question?
Yep.
Do you think your being a chimera and having a difference on sexual development means that the TERFs are right?
No.
Do you think your biology supports the TERFs, or does it support people who support trans people?
Definitely supports trans people, because I identify as both. I identify as being intersex and being trans, because I still had to transition. Even though I have bits of both, I still had to transition because I was still brought up.
Because the TERFs are yelling at me to stop weaponizing people with DSDs, but
Tag
my
me
thought
in.
is the TERFs
Tag
are
me
actually the TERFs are actually the ones weaponizing people with DSDs, because my perspective on it is that everyone should be treated as an individual and according to their preferences and their bodies as an individual person. And they want to assign people to a box and just treat everybody in that box the same way.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
and that doesn't help
totally
anybody.
Agree with you. It's, my personal opinion is intersex people totally support the position of trans people. Especially when you have intersex people like me who are terrified, go, oh, I'm so sorry that you, I still had to transition. That shows that what our identity is more important than what other people perceive our bodies to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Because, but they'll turn to me and they'll go, oh yeah, but you've got a reason why you're trans. Trans people have a reason why they're trans too. There is there's no difference there. It comes down completely to how our brains have developed, regardless. Because I could still have been intersex but had a male brain, and then I wouldn't have had a problem with how people perceived me as a kid. But because I had a female brain, I did have a problem with that, so I still had to transition.
Yeah.
So there is no difference here. I am definitely both trans and intersex. And
they
I
got on
think
my
that's
case
great
today.
because I can argue on both sides of it, which is awesome.
Yeah, they got on my case today for congenital adrenal hyperplasia, which I've made videos about, and I've addressed something, and they refuse to acknowledge the point that I'm actually making with that. They're saying like, well, if you didn't assume my sex, then you wouldn't have been able to treat me with my CAH. I'm like, that's a lie, because I said in my video that with CAH, we treat your aldosterone and cortisol deficiencies, which are not sex hormones. They are not. Everybody has aldosterone and cortisol because they're needed for electrolyte balance and blood sugar balance and immune function. And so what we do is we treat those hormones, which has nothing to do with your biological sex or your gender or anything. And then we wait until the child is old enough to make decisions about their gender identity and how they want their body to look. And then we make those decisions later.
Separate from our identity can be. It's not always, but it can be separate from how our body looks, from our genetics, so these things don't have to correlate. I'm an intersex person who has both XX and XY chromosomes, and it purely depends on where you take the samples from on my body. So how do you correlate that? You go, oh yeah, well you're obviously just the sex that the doctor announced when they grabbed you and held you upside down and smacked you on your ass. But that's not the reality of it. The reality of it is our gender identity is purely centered in our brains. It is a developmental function, but it's also by the social context that we live in, because the way you'd express that gender difference in your brain would be different depending on the culture you grow up in.
Yeah.
You still get trans people in different cultures where gender expression is different.
Mm-hmm.
But their expression of their being transness is different too, because it fits in with their culture.
Right.
Which is why we say that's why you have to be careful when you're talking about gender identity as opposed to gender expression. Our identities, gender identities, are something we're born with. They're mostly innate, but the expression of your gender identity is very cultural.
Yep.
But
so the TERFs are
they
wrong.
don't get. Yeah.
So the TERFs are wrong.
Yeah, the TERFs are wrong. Of course they're wrong. They're bigots. And if they're wrong. And if you ever need to tag an intersex person into something, go for it, Ben.
Oh, they've been dogpiling me for 3 days.
I noticed. I commented on one of your ones the other day, so I was like, yeah. When
Yeah,
they
they've
brought
been-
up what was the God, I can't even remember what it was I commented on. It was one of the medical ones that you posted about. Somebody asked you a medical question about cancer. That's right.
That was the dumbest thing I saw them post.
mRNA.
Yeah, they're like, if you
cancer
had to
treatment.
Yeah, they're like, this, you have 2 mRNA drugs for cancer, and one of them treats men and one of them treats women. Which one do you give for cancer? Like, okay, cancer is
Except it's
multiple
purely
diseases.
hypothetical because that's not how the mRNA drugs work at the moment anyway.
And
There
that's
was
not
a study
how
done,
cancer works.
There was a study done 3 years ago on it, and they suggest in the study that you need to target the drugs for the genetic makeup of the person, because the genetic makeup of the cancer itself makes a difference to how well the mRNA drugs make. That actually means, what was the context of that was, it's different for whether you're XX or XY. It's actually different for everybody dependent on their genetic makeup. So my answer to that was, what do they do with me? I have both. Which one do you give me? No, what you do is you take a sample from the cancer, find out what it is, and then treat that.
It targets the cancer, not the person, because the point is to not kill the person. And also, cancer is not one disease, so everything is dependent on the type of cancer, if you can even use an mRNA drug at all. And also, you're not going to use one drug ever for cancer. You're going to use a combination therapy for cancer, because you need to get rid of the cancer quickly. It's a problem. And so it's a very flawed analogy at best. And then they're like, oh, you're not answering the question. Like, yeah, you set up a very poor example as a gotcha, but none of you understand how this actually works at all.
Exactly.
But I appreciate you jumping in on that one. That was...
that was fine. The other one that pissed me off in that whole context was when they went from that to talking about blood donations. And
that one too.
Because that one really shits me off because it's misunderstanding of the information. Mm-hmm. What the actual thing of it is there's an enzyme created in pregnant women that is dangerous to anybody, can be dangerous to some people who have never been pregnant. Whilst that would include all people who are either of XY origins or infertile, it also includes any women who haven't had any children yet. So what they have to ask, that's why they have to ask for if you've been pregnant before, and they have to label the blood so that they know that you probably shouldn't be giving this to somebody who hasn't had children. And that's the context of it. It's not about, oh, women's blood can kill men. No, that's not what it is.
Yeah, I commented because I was like, the study is about like antibodies in pregnant people's blood. It's not about like men and women's blood being incompatible. It's about like enzymes and antibodies produced in pregnancy.
Persist after pregnancy as well. So you've got to be, they need to be screened for. So it's like, preferable to take blood from people who haven't been pregnant. No.
Yeah.
No. And again, you're completely ignoring trans men at that point.
Wait, if men's blood is toxic to women, that proves I was a woman all along, because 10 years ago, I gave a blood donation to my sister.
Yeah, like, why can we do blood transfusions between siblings?
The thing is, it's the other way around. It's blood from people who have been pregnant or are pregnant can be dangerous to people who have never been pregnant. Is the correct way to term it?
Yeah.
But in the TERF scenario,
into pregnant. Yeah, TERF's changed that into women's blood kills men. So what type of blood do you have to give a trans person? You don't give them blood from anybody who's been pregnant. Basically, is the thing. But even then, it only affects 5% of the population, and it doesn't always kill them. It gives you an extra. It gives you an extra. What is it? 20% chance of DVTs. Because it's a clotting agent that's part of that enzyme. So it's.
But apparently, also, men are. The other thing they were telling me is that men are more genetically similar to chimpanzees than to women.
What?
Yeah, I've heard that one before.
That's an actual argument that they made on my Twitter. They're like,
that's just an insult,
right?
That's just an insult. That's an attempt at insult.
These people don't care about facts. They don't care. They've got the same mentality. They've got the same mentality as flat earthers and people like and anti-vaxxers. In fact, a large proportion of gender critical people, not necessarily Turks, but the gender critical people I've encountered are actually anti-vax as well. They've shown their true colors during COVID because they talk about not getting the vaccine. I actually saw somebody changed in the middle of a thread. They were talking about how they were vaccinated, and then they got all upset because, I've been lied to because 2% of people in ICU in hospitals have already been vaccinated. Yeah, that's 2%. The other 98% are people who were not vaccinated. You are really reducing your chances if you come in contact with COVID of ending up in ICU if you've been vaccinated. Nobody said it was 100%. No one.
Nothing will ever be 100%.
No. I have had chickenpox 4 times in my life. Actually had it. And because I've never built up a proper immunity to it.
There's a 100% chance of me landing on the downbeat. I just want to say that.
Okay,
Hey,
that's
Mikey,
the only thing that is 100%.
1 in 3, baby. 1 in 3.
1 in 3. How are you, Mikey? Long time. Been a while since we've been on the same stream.
What is up? How you been?
I've been pretty good actually. Having fun.
Good.
Doing my thing. Getting naked.
I'm still trying to figure out the Australian accent and all of its nuances.
Don't base it off mine. Mine's a mishmash. I was married to an American for like 5 years, so I picked up.
Sorry.
Just say the word no. Just say the word no.
No.
Yeah, see, I can't. If I can figure out you guys as no, I think I can figure out the rest of the accent.
No.
Well, I don't know. It sounds to me like Jen does not realize that no only has 2 letters in it, not 2 syllables.
No.
It's got like 88.
Well, you draw it out, so it sounds like it's like 6 letters the way you say it.
It doesn't really. I've never noticed it myself.
Jen. That's what I'm gonna call you.
Jen.
That's your name now.
Since I'm back in the saddle here, I got to round the horn. Which actor has the
what have you got
best
around the horn there, Mikey?
Which actor has the best not like Hugh Laurie has one of the best American accents I've ever heard. So who has the best accent impression that you've heard?
Well, Hugh Laurie does an American accent for House.
Yeah.
Ben.
Yeah, Hugh Laurie is amazing. Actually, hearing Hugh Laurie do most accents, he and Stephen Fry are both absolutely brilliant at accents.
Stephen Fry is also very good.
They were in
Blackadder.
They had that show together originally, right?
Blackadder, yeah.
Ben is really good.
My accents are not that good.
Whatever, dude. That was awesome.
It's not better than House. We're talking House level. Calm down, B. Calm down, B. Jeez.
Can you do an Australian
accent? You like Ben too, but damn.
I can't do an Australian one.
Australian's really hard.
Australian's so hard. I'll
try
slip into British.
Street. Street's a good word.
What the hell did you even just say to me?
Street.
That's not a word.
Yeah.
Spell it.
Are you even speaking English?
I think I'm trying to communicate.
This is the worst American accent I ever heard.
That would be mine.
Oh,
so wait a second. So hold on. I want to go back to the Stephen Fry thing. So wasn't Stephen Fry and Hugh Laurie in the same show?
They were
20 years ago, 30 years ago.
Yeah, a bit of Fry and Laurie.
Oh yeah.
And they also
you
did.
Saying that just triggered that memory.
Jeeves and Wooster.
Yes.
Which is absolutely brilliant. Anyone who hasn't watched Jeeves and Wooster,
that's
watch
exactly
it. It's hilarious.
Also, me and the wifey watched Cruella, like the modern Cruella. Different, but not bad. And then like apparently Hugh Laurie was Jasper in like an English version of some sort of live action 101 Dalmatians.
Oh wow.
Oh, let's not forget how amazing Hugh Laurie is at jazz piano.
He is like a fucking
legit.
He is good. Like
legit.
And he plays guitar too, which I find is very
I haven't
common.
seen that.
Yeah, he really plays. Did you see when Wilson destroyed his guitar? His Gibson Les Paul.
You know who I think does a pretty good American accent? Andrew Lincoln.
Who the hell is that?
Plays Rick Grimes on Walking Dead.
Where is he from?
English. He's English. Someplace in
Oh,
Britain.
he's
I don't know
English.
exactly.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Tom Holland
Oh,
is
I didn't
pretty
know
good.
that.
Okay, I have to drop out here. Sloth Girlson needs help.
Okay.
All
Perp.
right.
Bye,
Well, thanks for
Perps.
coming
Love
by,
you.
Perp.
Bye, Perps.
I
Yep,
appreciate
see
you.
you all tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye, Sunshine.
I need another soda pop.
Tom Holland
Well,
has
go
a
get
good
one.
Tom Holland has a good American accent. His Spider-Man is very new. Tom Holland has a very New Yorker-y kind of accent.
I forget he's not American. Tom
Yeah.
Holland is amazing.
Gerard Butler. I need subtitles for him when he's not in a movie. He's too Australian.
David Tennant.
Is there such a thing as too Australian?
Yes. Steve
Oh,
Irwin,
yeah.
I could understand.
Yeah, it's when you're from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Someone
Well,
from New
that's a
Zealand
good
would be
answer.
so mad at you for used to call them Australian.
I have some Kiwi friends. You'd be nice. They
I
hate
didn't
me.
call any New Zealanders Australian. I said, can you be too Australian? Yeah, that's when you're from New Zealand.
Peter
Yeah, they'd be
Jackson's
mad
a-
at you.
Hey, Danny.
They can be.
We have
It's all right.
doubled our gin.
Hi.
She's naked as well. You just
Hello.
can't tell behind the avatar.
There's Jen and Jen and
I've
you
almost
doing it?
seen it. It's okay, Jen.
Are you saying it like the $6 million man?
I was just gonna say that was a total $6 million man thing.
Chris, we are so on the same.
Oh, yeah.
We are
One of the
both
worst shows
two-
ever made.
We are,
Who did it before $6 million man?
Caddyshack.
No, I
Yeah.
said before $6 million man.
Oh,
Caddyshack
well,
is
so,
back.
hold on, I'm thinking of the scene with Chevy Chase where he's like, "Be the ball."
Yeah, who was Chevy Chase copying?
Rodney Dangerfield.
Robin Williams.
Oprah Winfrey
as
Robin
Mork.
Williams.
Actually,
Oh,
Robin
more.
Williams was good at doing accents too.
Robin's
Nanu.
really good. Robin was really good.
He
Robin
was always doing the na 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 na. That was one of his Mork things, right?
That's true.
Wait, that was before $6 million man?
Yes,
Was
Mork and
it?
Mindy.
that was right after Happy Days.
Oh, it was too, because he actually appeared on Happy Days.
Happy
Yeah.
Days.
Yeah.
Thursday,
Yeah, I
Friday,
forgot they
Happy
put
Days.
Mork on Happy Days, which is kind of a weird crossover.
Well, that's kind of how they gave him his start.
Yeah, the more
They put him in one episode on Happy Days, and then he had a show.
It's it's so weird to think that Robin Williams and Henry Winkler are similar in age. I just think of Robin
Well,
as so
no,
much-
they're not anymore.
Oh my!
Their careers.
Well, yes, they are. Just one stopped aging.
That was fucked up.
We just rewatched Mrs. Doubtfire, and I forgot about him doing the voice acting of like the little parrot movie he was trying to get the job for. It is
Yeah.
the most delightful animation you have ever seen in your life. It's so
It's
good.
fucking great. It's such
And
a good part of the
Robin is-
movie.
Robin should have really just been this era's Mel Blanc.
Oh,
Yeah, I know.
He should have
Well,
It's
Mel
really,
really
Blanc's son.
sad,
we
man.
should've just
Mel
got
But
him.
Blanc's son
you
is
just
no
got to
joke,
look at what he
man.
did with the genie in
He's-
Aladdin.
So
Yeah.
here's the funny bit.
Any of it.
Last night at the dinner table, my family and I were having dinner, obviously, but we were talking about actors and Robin Williams. And one of my kids, keeping in mind my kids are 15 and 16, was the middle child. They were like, "Oh yeah, man, like Robin Williams before he was Aladdin," and I was like, "Oh my god." Here's what you don't
Good
understand.
kids.
Before Aladdin came out, Robin Williams was very well known
He
for
was
like
filthy.
Mork and Mindy and all of these other movies. And like to them, they're just like, "But yeah, but he's Aladdin. He's the genie in
He's
Aladdin."
Genie. His name
He's
is Genie.
Popeye the Sailor
Look,
Man.
No,
If
that
you guys
movie
wanna
was
see-
garbage.
He's never
Those
going
were
to
the
do that for
cocaine
Roll
days.
Justice in live action.
That was such a bad movie. We all know it was, but we just loved Robin so much
Oh,
that we
it was
willed it
awful.
into goodness.
Hold on one second.
If you guys want to
Popeye had
see,
some good songs.
If you guys want to see like Robin Williams acting and doing what he wants to do, and they put it in the movie, watch Good Morning Vietnam.
Yeah,
when he's doing the big skit behind the mic and they're broadcasting it out, and he talks about the crotch pot cooking and shit, that's all him. That was not in the script at all. But what he did was so much funnier. They threw that part of the script out and just kept that. They just let him go.
Good for them.
Even like the fucking like in Aladdin, like the mysterious like shopkeeper guy, like in the very beginning.
Yeah.
They just literally gave him like a list of shit, and he just did a whole spiel to intro it, did the whole thing, went through everything, made half of the sound effects himself. It was. Sorry, Will Smith, you had no business trying to fucking be the fucking genie. It was. I had to turn it off.
Okay. It's not Will's fault.
He should know better.
Come on.
I mean, really, you should have said, "Nah, dude, that ain't my gig. I can't touch that. I can't give that some respect." Like,
if someone said, "Hey, I'm going to give you $1 million. I want you to make a Michael Jackson tribute show, but you have to be Michael Jackson," I'm like, I can't take the money. There's no way I can do that. What are you, fucking crazy? I can't do that. That's impossible.
That's a good point, man.
I'd have to
put it like that.
I'd have to just leave the money on the table and walk away. I can't take that.
Yes, you're absolutely right, Commander.
It's not mine.
Oh, come on, take the money.
Some of the best comedians that we have ever had were severely depressed.
Well, that's the whole tragic drama.
It's part of it.
You're right. That's
Jonathan Winters was a known manic depressive.
Yeah.
Well, bipolar, today's word.
And I think it's like, I don't know. I have a very Chuck Palahniuk view on art, so I think it's kind of like in the gears of being able to, like, that extra gear that artists have to be able to create something out of nothing. You kind of have to lose a bit of self-preservation, a bit of self-care, a bit of self-worth. It requires that, unfortunately. So
yeah. Listen to Jim Carrey talk about that anymore.
I love Jim. Hey.
Well, somebody tell us what he said.
Yeah.
I'm
eating popcorn. I'm ready. Go ahead.
Jim's been on a long road, man, and like I was really worried about him after Robin went. I was really, really worried about him, and I haven't heard a whole bunch, but I still. He's one of those guys. Like he's like, I don't know. It's just like artist people are different.
Yeah,
they're just not the same as everybody else, and Chris Cornell, Chester, Robin, Anthony Bourdain, like these guys who have just like mastered their crafts and are just virtuosos at things that you really shouldn't think that is a thing to be that good at. There's a cost to be paid for it, and it just sucks. It just really sucks.
Oh, there's always a price. I was actually talking to somebody today who was an actor back when I was a kid, or actress, I'm sorry, back when I was a kid, and she recently is going through some health problems, and I think she just wanted somebody to talk to, and we talk very easily from the first time I met her, and every time she calls the office, she always asks for me. I take it as a huge compliment. And her and I had a big conversation today, and she goes, I really appreciate you being honest and forthright with me about like trans issues and how you feel. She said, because, she said, I'm always about standing up and advocating for people. And she said that her niece had died 3 months prior to this, 3 months ago. And her niece was gay. And she said, I never had that full on conversation with her. I never got a chance because they lived in California and I didn't see her very often. And she was very upset and saying, I'm really sad now that I didn't have that opportunity to get to know her. But she's an amazing person. And the reason I brought her up is because when they were filming the sitcom she was on, the directors wanted her to act a certain way and act ditzy and everything, and she refused. And when the show hit #1 and they wouldn't listen to her, she was like, I'll walk right now. And then they were like, hold on. don't leave. Let's talk about this. Because if you broke up that group she was in, it was done. So, yeah, so she was like one of the original women fighting for men to not make all women look like stupid dingbats that can only like use their looks or cook or something.
Yeah.
She fought pretty hard for it. So
Like as soon as you started like telling that story, like I immediately thought of Lucille Ball and how like people don't really give Lucy the respect that Lucy deserves. Like to have a biracial couple on TV and own the rights to almost all of your own shit. And you know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, right.
Yeah,
she also did so much more for so many other actors, and she saved Star Trek. She basically made it happen.
Yeah.
It was all done through her production company.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Desilu Productions.
I don't know if it was Desilu or that if she had her own by that time after she split up with her.
I would think by that time she would have been far removed.
I have to have a confession though. I did not like Lucille Ball as an actress in her series.
That was my first
movies. I saw her in a lot of movies. I thought she was really good and stuff, but I just hated the character that she played.
Well, because she was a classic case of men making a woman look ditzy and stupid. And she was actually extremely intelligent and kind and well-spoken and a lot of things that they did not portray her as. And she was in that era before women started fighting for it.
But I mean, like I think she had her moments where it was funny for her or Ricky or Ethel or Fred, one of them to like be the, well, of course that wasn't going to work. Now, how are we going to fix this? Like, and then that's the episode. A lot of times it fell on her because I think she wanted to be the lead in that. But I think that was just the formula that they wrote in at that time. And it wasn't Lucy every time. You know what I mean? Because there was a lot of times where she saved Fred's bacon or Ethel's bacon or Ricky's bacon and like put on an excellent, I'm Sally Sweet from Baker Street, or you know what I'm saying, like where she like saved the show, and it's like, oh well, she's not dumb. It's just that's what was funniest. So we said it.
Well, I feel like they took her goofy silliness and pushed it a little towards ditzy too much. Yeah. You know what I mean? When she was just like, you could tell the parts where she was really just being herself, and like the Vita Vegemin, like that.
Vita Vegemin.
That shit was classic, man, and no one could have done that like her. It was totally her coming through that character. It was totally her.
And I'm not sure if I know a whole bunch of actresses that can really portray physical comedy the way that Lucy did, especially at that time. Like her,
well, that's kind of like
influenced, right? You got the Carol Burnett's.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say Carol Burnett and Lily Tomlin, man. They did their shit and they did it fucking well, and I loved it.
Yeah,
always loved it.
But they were from the lineage of Lucille.
It's always good when you do your shit well.
What was
Sorry.
What was who was all in the family?
Gene Stapleton.
That's it.
Well,
Sally later B. Arthur, which is where her show was spun off of.
Yeah, I'm thinking Mama's Family. I apologize.
Oh, Mama's Family was good too. No, you're talking about Shirley MacLaine and no, not Shirley MacLaine.
No, Vicky, what's her name?
Vicki Lawrence.
Yeah,
Vicki Lawrence. Thank you.
Ken Berry was the male lead.
Harvey Feldman.
I watched.
But we would have never had those shows without Lucy, though.
Absolutely. But I mean, how much of it? So here, I don't know. I might as well throw this question out there. So obviously, Lucille Ball, when she was making the empire that she made, which is essentially what happened. Desilu was enormous, and then she was able to build off of that. She was playing into stereotypes.
Yeah.
So I guess my question is, does playing into also mean reinforce? Because I mean, she is that clever. She is that smart. Outside, when the cameras were off, she was in charge.
That was her set,
right? So I mean, I guess I'm just wondering out loud, like how much of her playing into the stereotype, which allowed her to gain more and more momentum, was actually feeding into a stereotype that was destructive.
I mean, I think that comes to a point for most marginalized groups is sometimes you got to use the system against itself. Like, you can try and do it all yourself and reinvent the wheel, but that's much harder than saying, oh, you think of me this way? Okay, well, let me just use that against you. And then let me use that to benefit me in the long run. And then, oops, what do you know? Women are now in charge of film sets.
Well, I mean, because what I'm thinking of is, so think of the Lucille Ball from the black and white I Love Lucy days. And then think of the Lucille Ball that was giving interviews to Dick Cavett. It's still the same person.
Right.
The person speaking to Dick Cavett is this super confident, almost overconfident professional, like somebody who knows the ropes.
Big fish.
Right? And it's the same person from the 20, 30 years ago. You just weren't able to hear them talk that way 20, 30 years prior.
Right.
I don't know. I'm just having fun with that contrast because she is so strong in her interviews. And I'm also a huge Dick Cavett fan. Love watching those old school things because people literally talked differently back then.
Yeah.
They weren't trained in this. You have 5 minutes to tell me your best story. It was no, you have the whole 2.5 hours to shoot the shit with me about whatever.
Right.
Oh, cut it up.
Right.
Well, we weren't in so much of a hurry back then. You know, the only thing people were hurrying to do back in the day was to make sure their kids were fed and that they took care of the garden and they had food. Like they didn't even rush to do that. They just worked hard when they got there. You know what I mean? Like it was totally different than now.
Do that.
They didn't. They were like, oh, get on a horse, head into the field. You know, like they weren't in a hurry to do that shit because they didn't have to be. They had the entire day to just do that. There was no cell phones ringing. There was no internet they had to turn on. There was no news to check on like you wait till the evening and you watch the evening news for like 2 hours or what, and then that's it.
And if you had a games machine, it was an Atari 2600 hiding in the corner.
Yeah, right. Say that again, Christopher.
Well, I was just going to say on one of the three, you were going to watch the nightly news on one of the 3 channels that were available.
Oh wow!
That's what
we had 3. When I was a kid, we had 2.
You know those remote controls? My dad had 6. I was one of them.
Yeah, I remember that.
We'll change that channel.
Yeah. So hold on
Yes,
a second.
sir.
I think that we're about the same generation. So do you remember when cable came out?
Oh my God!
And it was only
Did
on
you
for
know
6
I
hours
didn't
a day?
even know about cable until 2 years after it came out, and a friend of mine got it, and she was the most popular kid in school.
I can imagine.
Like we all went over to her house the first weekend she had it. Her parents watched it all weekend, like they were amazed, right? And they were old fashioned, like country folk, so they were like, "Oh my gosh, what's on here?"
For 6
Right?
hours a day.
So the next weekend we went over and we watched MTV. We did not sleep, but you would like fall asleep, like, no, I'm gonna sit here and watch this shit. You'd like get up, walk around and shit. Like we were like so pumped about it. And then I find out years and years later, it was like 2.5 years after everybody else had cable already anywhere near around us. And I was like, oh, really? Because I was like, no, I remember when MTV came out. It was this year. And everybody was like, nah, dude, what are you talking about? It was like 3 years before that. And I was like, no, was it really?
There were like 2 seasons of shows that you missed out on.
Oh, like 2 or 3. I had no idea.
When keeping
Never
it
heard
real,
of it before. I
gets
lived out in
wrong.
the country.
Well, keep in mind,
remember the
when MTV first
anti-cable?
started, there were no shows.
And we didn't watch TV. Like, really. If we watched anything, it was like, once we found out about MTV, it was just music videos. Like, we watched those all the time. We were addicted.
Do any of you remember the anti-cable campaigns that movie theaters Hollywood put on?
No.
Before every movie, there'd be this anti-cable
Hey
advertising.
guys, it's getting late here. 12:30 in the morning. I'm going to call it a night.
Oh, that means it's, yeah, okay. Good night, Ollie. Thanks for stopping in, buddy.
Bye, Ollie.
I appreciate you.
Something's gone wrong. I can't hear anybody all of a sudden.
I figured
Well,
that was the case.
peace. We love you.
Okay, I can hear you now. All right. Cheers, guys. Have a good night.
Bye, Ollie.
Night, buddy.
Bye, Ollie.
All right, it's going. Let's
Headbangers
talk about it.
Ball. Yes, Mac. Headbangers Ball was the
Headbangers
shit.
Ball was my jam. Ricky Rackman.
It's dreadful.
We were like
It's not-
standing in front of the
most of the
couch
things you're talking
headbang.
about, I don't remember as a kid.
You what?
Well, I mean, I remember Lucille Ball and a couple of the other shows you mentioned, but we didn't bring in everything you have. There was a lot of UK shows that were brought to Australia because
You
it was
got
more our culture
Splash.
anyway.
Mhm.
And we had some American shows, but not a heap. So they had to be very popular, like Lucille Ball or Love Boat or something like that too.
Love
The
Knight Rider.
Love Boat soon will be making another run. The Love Boat.
All right, stop it.
Promise.
Hey, that wasn't too bad.
Well, you have to remember that the guy
We're
who
almost in
sang-
tune, eh?
the
I'm
guy
never
who
totally
sang
in tune,
the
but I was
theme for
close by
Love
God.
Boat-
We were close. We were close to being in tune with each other. It's amazing.
Really?
Yeah, really.
You wouldn't know that I was in choir. I don't even know why they let me in. I think it was, I don't know.
You
I
wouldn't
was
know I used to
comic
sing
relief. I don't know. I couldn't even read music or anything. That's why I got kicked out of band. I had to stop playing band because I couldn't learn to read music.
Well, if I
My brain
remember
doesn't work
correctly,
like
the
that.
guy who sang the theme for the Love Boat was popular for being the guy who sang the theme for the Love Boat. Like he would be on like the John Davidson show singing the theme for the Love Boat because that was his thing.
What do you do? I sing the theme from Love Boat. Do
Yeah.
you? Can you sing it for us? Sure. I've
Well,
sang it
I
for
don't-
20
I'm
other
not
people
ready
in this
for it as
city,
he
but
pulled the
I'll do it for
microphone
you
out of
too.
his sleeve. Well, I wasn't expecting to do this today.
He's got the Harry Potter microphone, the Bob Barker joint. It's like 18 and a half inches long. There's a little fucking tic tac on the end. fucking crazy times, man.
I just happen to have a mic.
Swoop.
Johnny.
Wingardium Leviosa. Let me sing this fucking Love Boat real quick.
Oh, so funny.
Do any of you
Fantasy
have,
Island.
do any of you have?
Deep Lane. Sorry.
Hello, can I be heard?
No.
Yeah, we can hear you, Jenny.
I just figured everybody was ignoring me again, so I just thought maybe my system was dead.
No, I was just being goofy, and because you're on a phone, I run over you by accident. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just wondering if anybody gets the Johnny Carson reruns that are on now.
I don't watch
I
television.
find them on YouTube. I specifically try to find like the old school Rat Pack interviews with like either Sinatra or Don Rickles, of course, Sammy Davis Jr. and those guys. But
Fuck
like
yeah.
those or the opposite side of the Rat Pack, which is Burt Reynolds.
Right.
Burt Reynolds was hammered almost every time he was on the Tonight Show in the 70s.
Really?
He was Burt Reynolds. What are you gonna say? Don't be hammered and
Was
come
he
on my
usually
show.
hammered
You
when he
want
made
that
his
fucker on your
movies as
show.
well? I mean, in
They-
most
they
of the
were-
Cannibal
they were
movies,
actively
it looked like he
drinking
was
on
off
it,
his
so-
face.
Jen, finish what you were saying, then Jenny, you can say what you were saying because you guys
Oh,
ran
I
over each
said,
other.
no, Jenny can go. That's right. She can
Nope.
go first.
I was just going by who started talking first.
So
Okay, well, nobody's gonna tell
Okay,
me.
well,
hold on. This is kind of a blast from the past. Ben, you might appreciate this as a fighting sports person. There is an interview from 1990 of Muhammad Ali, Sugar Ray Leonard, and Mike Tyson.
No shit.
It's amazing.
I bet.
I think Muhammad had like one or two strokes at that point, so he's talking really, really soft and he's very diminished. But to see the three of them on stage with Arsenio is a delight, an absolute delight. I'll put it in the private chat for you.
Are you not modded on my channel?
Nope.
I'm not modded on your channel.
Oh my god. Why can't mod everybody? That would just be weird. Like Neil or something.
I'm sorry,
No, I'm
what are you,
kidding.
Neil?
Be just like Neil, yeah.
A lot of people do that actually, and they just don't have to deal with the assholes when they come in. That's why I started doing a lot of people, because no matter which night it was, I knew I'd have at least 3 people in the chat to watch for assholes. What?
Started doing a lot of people.
I got
Darn
that
you,
stupid
Mikey.
song stuck in my head now, B.
Darn you, Mikey. What, the Love Boat? You're welcome.
Yeah. It's totally
Would
stuck.
you like to switch to Fantasy Island?
I don't know the words, so I'm fine.
Gosh, the plane. God, what a racist show, though.
Here's
What
the
a
remedy
racist
to
show.
any earworm. You just think of a simple single jingle and sing it like by Menon. Bam. Done.
By Menon.
Just gets
That's
rid of
Ellen DeGeneres right there, man. She makes jokes about that shit.
I think I got it from Stephen Colbert.
Really? You
But
should
it does
look
sound
up.
like an Ellen thing.
You should
always
look
get
up
the banana
Ellen and look
split
up
face song stuck
by
in your head.
Menon. She's talking about being ADD and can't go to sleep at night. She's like, you
Stephen
lay there
Colbert's
and you're
literally
like,
talking about getting earworms
okay.
out of your head.
Okay, I'm gonna go to sleep. By Menon. Stop it. I like grapes. Shh, quiet. I'm trying to go to sleep. It's hilarious.
That's good.
Oh my
I just got a
God.
double dose of Ellen because we watched Finding Nemo and Finding Dory on the flight back. Dude, Finding Dory is so Finding Nemo and Finding Dory are so much sadder than I remember. Oh, so sad.
Because when you're
Mikey, you
younger,
need to
all
go
you
watch-
see is like the cartoons.
I mean, I
Hey,
didn't watch
Jen,
them until I was in my damn near 30s.
Jen,
but-
do you have any animated films that you'd like lately?
Yeah, I was going to go there. I was going to say to Mikey, you need to go and watch the My Little Pony movie.
The what is it?
Wait,
There's a new My Little Pony movie. It's awesome.
I need
I've
to
watched
watch
it
that.
5 times
Do-
since
We're about
Friday.
to kick Jen out of here.
Do I have to?
No, I need to. I need to watch that. I'm a Pinkie Pie fan.
I don't want to
Oh,
watch
so
that.
you will love Izzy because Izzy is very Pinkie Pie-ish.
Okay.
Remember, it's a future generation of ponies, so it's not.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
And B hates me now.
Oh
I did-
my God.
I did enjoy that Finding Dory kind of really fleshed out Dory as a neural divergent character. I was like, oh, that's okay. I get it now.
You know the
I
bit
get
where
who they're
Dory is
talking
talking
to
to the whale?
Yeah.
Oh,
Thank you. There's a bit in the new My Little Pony movie that just reminds me of that.
that shit's funny,
if you
man.
watch it, you'll get it. But it's yeah.
Oh, love it.
We watched a lot of Disney because that's the only app that I remember to download the movies on for the iPad for the plane, which ended up being the only ones we watched on the cruise. We didn't want to watch. Dude, the cruise was so hilarious, man, because they had movies playing on 3 different channels, but they were kind of on like this cycle, and then them cycles started lining up. So like the same movie would be on like 2 or 3 of the channels at the same time.
Oh,
Like I was like, bro, I don't want to watch the very first Spider-Man movie
again.
in 18-minute separate segments. Like, no, this is real. Like, dude, get out of here, Topher. Or not
Oh my
Topher. What's his
gosh.
name? Wow, Toby Maguire. Get out of here, Toby Maguire. I'm sick of looking at you.
I want to know why they always have to do the origin story of Spider-Man over and over and over and over and over and over.
But they didn't this time. They didn't do the origin of Spider-Man again.
They didn't this time?
No, for the MCU they didn't. Tony Stark meets Spider-Man already as having his powers as Spider-Man.
Got him.
I mean, sure, he doesn't have his really cool new suit that Tony pays for, but
Yeah.
he is already Spider-Man. He's already got his powers. He's already doing stuff.
I can't remember which show I was listening to, but they were
Oh,
kind of like
somebody
talking
else.
about that. We were a little upset that because Spider-Man is supposed to be like scraping like tooth and nail to like get things done and just barely save MJ, but now he has this fucking super suit from fucking Tony Stark, and that's
From
not.
Tony Stark. But to be fair, he does eventually build his own super suit. Spider-Man does. So
I
they
don't
just
know.
gave an easier method of getting it to him in the MCU, basically.
And they didn't like the fact that Tony, and they didn't like the fact that Tony was kind of like the surrogate dad that that Uncle Ben was previously, it like kind of passed that on to Tony, and I was like, but Robert Downey Jr. did such a good job. I'm not even mad at it. Like, like he was kind of like not abusive, but kind of like absent and kind of like just kind of, oh yeah, good job, kid. Yeah. So what's gonna go happen on next is I got another suit. Check your mailbox, and I got another suit. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds great. This is amazing, by the way.
Oh my god.
I want all the DC superheroes to get back to basics, and I'd like to see they still hang around together, but I would like to see like Thor go after a purse snatcher and beat the crap out of him. And
Thor?
Sure.
Yeah,
You
wrong
mean
franchise.
kill him? You want him to ship you at him, or you want him dead?
Maybe.
Because
Maybe.
Thor
I
will
don't know.
accidentally kill him.
I'm not the writer. It's whatever they need to do. But get back to the base. Get the regular criminals. Some guy strong arm robbery gets.
I think the show that you need to watch is The Boys on fucking Amazon.
My God.
That is
Thank you,
exactly
Mikey.
that show. If you love superheroes and you haven't seen The Boys, stop abusing yourself. Treat yourself
Boys?
better. B, are you
Yeah,
fucking
it is.
kidding me right now, B? B, you're fucking with me. All right,
Nah, dude.
stream's over, y'all. B's got to go watch fucking.
Oh shit!
Watching that shit right now, dude.
B. Look me in my fucking bin podcast logo.
I
right
am
now.
looking right at your icon.
I need you to look right at that thing, and I need you to understand. You need to watch this fucking show
All right.
immediately.
Oh, is it a show and not a movie?
It's a
It's a
show.
show.
Oh,
There's
okay.
two-
Now
there's
I'm
two
interested.
seasons.
I'm
There's-
not big into movies because then I want more, and then when they go back to do a second part, it sucks.
There's
So
two-
I
there's-
like series because they
there's-
are
there's-
consistently doing it.
There's 2 seasons out right now. I think season 3 has been filmed and it's in post-production right now. So if you hurry up with seasons 1 and 2, you might be able to time it just perfectly for season 3 to drop. I think it's dropping this winter.
Oh,
What's the premise of it?
So pretty much The Boys is
Go ahead,
super.
Mikey. Go ahead, try. I dare you.
I will do my best. The Boys
Here's a,
is superheroes, but think if superheroes were not real, but actually real.
What do you mean by
Made to
that?
be real.
Like
Yeah, if you had superheroes that were more like just your average garden variety asshole.
I mean, but what they end up being, and without giving out too much of it, it becomes like a whole like almost like you think of like a LeBron James or fucking Federer or fucking Ronaldo,
Okay.
like where these like super athletes are like so unbelievably famous and they really
Wait a
don't care
minute.
about
I
their
think I
sport.
saw a trailer for that.
Yeah.
they don't really
Superheroes get corporatized.
Yeah, they don't really care about like
Is it on
their
Netflix?
powers and develop. It's an Amazon. It's an Amazon Prime like
Oh, I
exclusive.
must not have seen it then. Okay.
It's so different and so.
Sony did a show that was very similar as well, B. Then you might be thinking of that one. I can't remember what that was called.
Carnival Row, because that was good too.
Sorry, what was it?
Carnival Row. That's got your mate Orlando Bloom in it.
No, not that one. What was the Sony one called?
What?
Talk, sing, Kitty. Tell us your secrets.
Powers. That's what
Nah,
the
dude,
Sony
my
one was
cat
called. It was called
listens. I told him
Powers,
to
and it
quit.
was a very similar premise to The Boys, except not all the heroes were complete assholes.
It's like The Boys is one of those shows. It's shot in such a way. It's gritty and nasty and clever and quick and slick and
That's got Dean in it.
all in the right proportions, all at the right time.
All right.
It's one of those shows where, like, unfortunately for me, Mowdy, I don't know if you remember if it came out episodically, if it all dropped at once, but I think I was watching like throughout dinners. But like every week, you were kind of like, Ooh, motherfucker! Oh,
No, it was weekly, all right. It was weekly, all right.
Yeah.
I had a Jones in my bones, man.
It was like one of the, like, and now you have the benefit of hindsight here, where you can just like dump out all fucking 18 or 20 episodes that there are. And I think they're like 38, 45 minutes or something like that. But it's fucking choice. And everybody in the chat, do yourself a solid and go watch The Boys on Amazon Prime if you haven't seen it yet. It is. Oh, and you can see a little cameo by everyone's favorite rascal, Patton Oswalt. But you got to earn it. You got to earn it.
Oh, that's right. I know exactly what you're talking
He's
about.
such a riot.
If we're talking about
cameo is a loose cameo.
if we're talking about cool things with superheroes, so there's a alternate timeline DC comic which they actually turned into an animation as well, where with Superman
wife is watching
fighting
that.
Doomsday.
Oh
And
yeah.
it doesn't go for very long, because what happens is Superman starts fighting Doomsday, discovers how hard Doomsday is to fight. So what he does is he X-ray visions Doomsday's head and uses his X-ray vision through Doomsday's eyes to lobotomize Doomsday. So he doesn't have to fight him. Just lobotomizes the enemy. So that's not very Superman-like, but it's kind of cool.
You know what's a great alternative universe DC series? Flashpoint.
I just watched that. I just watched
Flashpoint's
that.
good. Soviet Superman. What was it called?
Red Sun.
Red
Sun.
Sun.
Yeah.
What was on the Marvel side? They had What If.
The What Ifs are pretty good.
They're really. I love them. I really like them. I binged on all those in one night.
Well, there's the What If animated series now.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I watched.
Oh yeah, my wife's deep into that.
It's amazing. Like, dude, if you haven't checked them out, like maybe check out a couple. Check out If Killmonger Saved Captain America, and
so is each episode standalone?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that makes it way more enticing.
And I think they're written by different people every time. And then the other one I really, really liked was if Captain Marvel Captain Carter, if Agent Carter was the first Avenger, and if T'Challa was Star-Lord. It's I was like, oh man, that would have been awesome. That would have been so cool.
Didn't Agent Carter die?
Yeah, but what if she didn't?
Haha.
And what if she became she got the super serum and Steve Rogers didn't?
She'd be really hot.
You should probably check it out.
What do you guys think of that?
There's so much of this.
Can you read it?
I have just no clue. I've never heard of any of this shit. It's just can't believe how much I've missed.
It's a good point, Junie. It's a good point.
Can you read it? I'm sorry, I was.
Oh, it says that's one thing I brought up in my sociology class was that with streaming we don't have the magic of cliffhanger till next week. We can just go to the next episode. Very true.
I don't know if it's
Yeah,
because
so
it's
still
because
cliffhanger. The purpose
Go
of
ahead,
the cliffhanger is to get you to watch the next episode, not to make you hang out there for a week. So,
Well, no, but I think Judy's talking about that the excitement isn't there because when you have to wait till the next week, like when we were kids, then or younger, whatever, then you had that all week long. You thought about it and got ideas in your head.
Yeah.
And you kind of build up, and this you go, oh my gosh, oh, that's what's going on. Like it's not there like it used to be. I think that's what Judy means. I do believe.
And that's
what.
I'm pausing so I can say it without sounding stupid. It's almost, if you do it right, it almost doesn't matter. Because what shocks me is that such event happened. Not so much that I'm shocked by it and I won't know. If you make something shocking enough, I don't need the time dilation. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need the week to be fucking still sweating, because in between episodes, I'm still going to fucking go to the bathroom, get some more drink, get some more popcorn, walk the dog, dude. Like, I'm still going to do all that stuff in between episodes, even though it's only a couple minutes. Mm-hmm. But it's the end of the episode, like, and that's why I'm not your. And then the cut, and
you're
the
like,
transmission cuts out.
What are you not?
You son of a bitch! I knew you were
And
something.
that's why to be continued. I remember being a kid, man, and watching just regular TV, and it would be say to be continued. You were like, oh, no, dude, I have to wait a whole week.
But doesn't that really invite somebody else to fuck up like the writer of that series like fucking thing? Like, if you, unless you have prime time, to do it to be continued is kind of risky. Because someone else might come out with like episode 538,000 of fucking Dragon Ball Z and just totally you might lose your audience by doing it to be continued, right?
Yeah, but not back then.
So when I would come home from school, the things to watch were Voltron.
Oh yes.
G.I. Joe and
yes.
Star Blazers. Now I don't know.
I remember. I actually remember Star Blazers.
Only 235 days left to save planet Earth, right? With the Nova
To be honest, I thought
Blaster.
Voltron was kind of shit. But,
how dare you?
Sorry, but have you actually seen the movie they made, the live action Star Blazers?
No, I would never do
That's
that to myself.
really good. It is really good.
To your point, Mikey, I think that Star Blazers kind of was really riffing off of the like, you can't, like, you know, there is no way to record this. You have to watch the next episode, because they ended every episode with only 200 and blah, blah, blah days left.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
That timeline.
Yeah. And of course, you knew like the day before is 238. So today it's only 237, man. What's going to happen?
Like you.
And you
It's
knew
like-
what was
it's
going
like-
to happen. They were
it's
going to
kinda
fucking
like the,
blast off the Nova Blaster.
It's kind of like the
what happened
flashback that they give you at the beginning. It's since
Yes.
you haven't seen it for a week. Now, or
Yeah,
just
that's how
remind
they
you what
eat up
they were on.
15 minutes of the 30 minutes.
And that's kind of like what
Just
kind
remind
of
you.
turned me off on TV, especially like in the late aughts, was like I used to love Blacklist, right? With
I did
James
too.
Spader and
Yeah.
I can't remember the actress who played Keen. I can't remember her name, but she was really good too.
I can't remember.
But then the first 20 minutes of every fucking episode was what happened last. I was like,
I know.
all right.
I mean, they really did a long one.
You
They did. You were
milking
like,
the shit out of this. So by the time I fucking get to it, like I've been working fucking 10 hours that day. I'm fucking tired. It's Monday. I tried to fucking clear my schedule. I got dinner in me. I'm fucking sleepy as shit. Fucking James Spader's got that ASMR voice shit going. I'm like about to pass out on you motherfuckers. Y'all take it forever. It's a new shit. And then I would just miss it. But it wouldn't matter because they would recap it for 40 fucking minutes the next week.
it's fine if I miss an episode. I'll watch it next week when it's on again.
Yeah, when they
Get all
recap
the
it
whole
for the
entire
half
summary.
episode.
40-minute
Jeez.
episode. No, actually, it's not even true though, because you had commercials back then.
Yeah,
it wasn't
and
a 40-minute. It wasn't
you
an
got-
hour episode. It was
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
back
30
in the day, it was like 42 minutes or something. Then it was like now it's like 32, and it's almost all
Yo,
commercials.
don't get me started on when you see an old version, or something. Let me say, when you see a new version of an old show on reruns, they literally clip it up so they can fit more commercials in it.
They do.
It's more
Yes,
So, like,
commercials
yes,
than
I
if
have
the
seen that
original
before.
broadcast was
I have
20
seen that
minutes
before.
out of 30 minutes. The
Mhm.
new rebroadcast is like 15 out of 30.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
disgusting.
And you can
it's
notice
all commercials. Yeah,
I
Yeah.
thought we had advanced past this. That was a good thing
Nope.
about the cruise, though. No commercials on the TV shows. They cut them all out. I was like,
This is
"Ooh,
why
this is
streaming
nice."
services are better than watching live telly.
Yeah, and you know what else?
What
You
the
can
hell is
pause it.
telly?
Yeah.
You can come back the next day or 2 weeks later. It's still sitting there.
It
waiting
doesn't
for you.
matter if you fall asleep.
Rewind.
No, they need
I
to
remember
do-
this part. Watch. Right.
Can we all agree on something that I think should be universal?
Well,
After
we're almost done with this stream, so make it profound.
At the end of every streaming episode of a show,
Mhm.
should they make you click to watch the next episode? You have no idea how many shows I'm 4 episodes further into it than I should be because I fucking fell asleep. Like they'll play
And
the
it
next 3
Played the
every
next
time.
and played the next.
And
I
then
think
Yeah,
you
then
can-
you've got to go back
can't
and
you
figure
change
out
that in
which
your
show you
settings?
actually did watch.
I
all the way
have
through.
no idea. I usually just skip back 3. I'm like, oh, that's too far. Fuck. I think every episode, make me push one button and I won't complain. I promise.
But can't you change that in your settings?
No.
Really?
No, not on Netflix anyway.
No, Netflix is going to give you 3 additional after you fell asleep. And I'm like, fuck. I don't know what's
and
happening.
that's
right
after
now.
you fall asleep. That doesn't include the one that you were actually watching that you fell asleep during.
Which I have no idea what happened in that one either. Because
Hey,
I was
now
knocked
here's
the fuck
something.
out.
To avoid that, Mikey, this is what you do. You set your TV for a timer, like an activity timer. And then once it goes on for like 30 or 40 minutes and nobody touched any of the remote at all and moved it, it'll go into a sleep mode and it'll pause wherever it's at.
Yeah, but then when I'm actually like into the show, it'll stop. And
No,
turn
it just
off.
it pops up a little thing and says,
that
"Hey, are
won't
you
work
still
for
there?"
me.
And you hit OK on the remote.
Because I'm still
It doesn't
using
stop
my old 70-inch plasma screen with a Chromecast plugged into it. So
Yes, on
that
on
doesn't work.
Jur. That's what I like about most of the Netflix ones. You can skip the fucking recap.
Oh, that was
Oh,
a
yeah.
choice fucking button. Choice.
That is the best thing in the world. Is that skip recap button?
I'm just not
So-
into it as much as you folks. I don't know. Maybe it's because I have this tiny little TV across the room that I can barely see anything.
If you live closer to me, I'd give you mine.
I'm not into it.
If you live closer to me, I'd give you mine.
I don't always watch on the telly though. I sometimes prop my phone up beside my bed and lie in bed and watch it on my phone. Because if you're that
Well,
close to it, it's just as big as a fucking telly.
That's the other thing is I can't stream because I don't have any cable at all, and they always want you to enter your.
I
television.
stream over my phone though as
Whoever.
well, not just my landline. But I've got 250 gigabytes of data on my.
Jenny, you don't
Fine,
happen to have a
so-
TV that has a USB port on it, do you?
No. No, I don't think
If you
USB
did,
was invented when I got.
plug your phone in and watch it on this on the big screen. On
Jen,
the
bigger
TV.
screen.
Jen, I wanted to ask you a question because you're also a sciencey person.
Mm.
Well, I guess it's not really a question. I got to tell you something funny, but you can let me know if this has ever happened to you.
Okay.
I tried typing chocolate on my phone, and it auto-corrected to choline.
No, I haven't had that one happen, but I don't do much in chemistry, so I mean,
I don't think I
know-
typed choline that much. But I guess.
That's a good autocorrect though.
I was like, why though? Like, chocolate's a normal word.
Yeah, why? Really?
because it remembers topic, not just. That's what I've found is remembers topic, not just specific words that you've typed or looked up.
Yeah,
It
Fair
seems
enough.
to have a little bit of AI going and tries to outthink you.
I'll go to type something, text it to somebody, and it'll pop up a word that I commonly use at work if I need to text one of the doctors and they're off about something important. Like hospital pops up easy, script pops up easy, and all this stuff. Like I'll start typing something that suggests something medical related. And I'm like, no, I don't want that.
Choline. I want a
Choline.
choline
That's
milkshake.
great. Who doesn't want a choline milkshake right now?
It was
I
actually
mean,
really
don't we
funny.
all?
It was
Doesn't
actually
that
really
sound
funny 'cause-
delicious?
Because I was talking to my friend who I went to undergrad with, and she's she was a chemistry major, and so it does make sense that it's topic based because we do talk chemistry. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But
Well,
she was asking me about what 'cause she was the one that bought me ice cream the other day for dealing with the turfs.
Yeah.
And so she's
super
like, "What kind of
nice.
milkshake do you want?" And I was trying to say chocolate, and it said choline. And she was like, "I don't think they have that flavor."
I don't think they have that at Five Guys.
I don't think they have choline. Like,
Choline fucking milkshake. Like, who you trying to kill, dude? What the fuck? Oh yeah, it's not for me.
I mean, if it's
Trump would probably think
acetylcholine,
it
I'd
was a good
probably be
idea.
okay. But no, this is my friend who also like would legit go to the. We'd go to the university bookstore because we just thought it was fun to prove that you could make chloroform with things you found at the bookstore because you could. Because it was like a university bookstore where they had nail polish remover and like those like Tide sticks, like the bleach sticks.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
you could make chloroform out of things found in the bookstore, and we demonstrated that.
That's wonderful. Can we not
We
tell people that on my stream? I don't want
We
to
didn't
go.
make
I know this motherfucker.
But we
Not,
just-
I know how to
not,
make that
Ben
shit
did
now.
not explain how to make it, just what you needed.
I didn't explain how to.
Don't Google it, please. Don't. The FBI's
true.
out there somewhere. Like, don't Google it.
This is my same friend who like just carried around a bottle of acetone, like not the nail polish remover acetone, just normal acetone.
Yeah.
And like squirted it all over her car, like on the inside of the car.
Why?
Because we're weird.
That's
This is what
Right,
this is
that's
what science
getting cut.
students.
That one's
Touche,
getting
my
cut.
friend.
This is what science
Touche.
students do when we hang out together. In fact, Jen, I would love for my friend to like get in contact with you somehow because
Yeah.
she's a newly out trans feminine person.
Yeah, that's fine. Are they on Twitter or Facebook?
On Facebook, yes.
Yeah, you got me on Facebook.
But like the science community, especially like the trans science community, is like the ideal place for this person. But she's been like trying to get into communities, but like having some trouble because she keeps running into like the pagan circles and is not really interested in that. So.
Right. Who is this?
Jen and I have established a coming out support group.
It feels like it,
My
doesn't
friend
it?
from underground.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay. I got it.
Did you just say the trans underground? Did you?
I thought for sure she was going for trans underwear, but I
I
don't
kn-
think either Jen's wearing it right now, so never mind.
I knew it.
I'm
knew
not.
it.
I'm only naked from the top up. It's too cold to be naked from the way.
Oh,
Are you naked again?
Can you?
I
please-
didn't get dressed. I just came straight over to B's thing after mine finished. So
Can you
I didn't get-
relax about your use of the word cold?
No,
You don't
I'm
even
cold.
know what cold is.
It's cold enough that I got a heater on.
Oh, hold on.
Well,
let me
you're
get
half
on-
naked. Of course you're
no,
gonna have.
no.
No, I don't.
Hold
know.
on, hold on, B. Before you advocate, what temperature is it there? Because I bet
have
it's
no
like
idea.
fucking sweltering
It's
fucking
probably
heat.
like 78. We're sweating.
Yeah, it's sweat weather, and Jen's always like, "Oh, it's cold today. I had to put a log on the fire.
14 degrees
It's 98
Celsius,
degrees
which
Fahrenheit."
is-
What is that? What degrees? How many?
98 degrees Fahrenheit, she said. Inside or outside?
It's okay. It's 58 degrees Fahrenheit.
58.
Oh, you're fine.
It's been dropping. It started dropping down here at night to about 47, 46.
Yeah, so it was a lot colder at night.
That's
It was a
what's
lot
cool
colder when
about
I
living
started.
here, though.
To be
'cause at
fair,
night-
it's probably not as cold now as when I stripped off earlier this morning. It's a lot warmer now
Right.
than what it was.
In Chicago,
it drops 30 degrees here at night, and then goes up 30 degrees during the day and drops 30 degrees at night. So it's pretty cool. Like it's literally cool at night.
Proof that I
love
stripped
it.
here.
In Chicago, it was 87 degrees when I landed today, and I was like, "That's pretty good for 1 o'clock in the afternoon in September." The fuck is going on right now?
It's going to get back into fall next week, Mikey. For both of us.
You know what? I didn't have to take a single allergy pill while I was on my cruise, and it was fucking glorious. I could breathe the entire time.
Isn't that amazing?
I'm allergic to Illinois. I got to get out of here.
Dude, I'm telling you, the best thing I did was leave Ohio. I left all that mold and shit behind, and
come on up to Minnesota, Mikey.
So much better out here. The only thing I'm allergic to that I found so far here is my own cats, but I knew that. So
I'm allergic to Arizona, so I moved to the wrong place.
Well, I would love
to nothing.
They would want you.
There's a lot of desert plants out here.
By definition, I would
Same
say
here.
no. There's not a lot of
Cacti
them
everywhere.
No, there's a lot of them. Yeah, we have a lot of plants. They're just desert plants.
Do you have like fields of plants?
Well, no, it's a desert. They're not fields, but you don't have to be a field to have plants.
To be a lot, I would say.
You know, Mikey, if you live up by Flagstaff, you get the cooler weather.
Mikey,
and
where's
you
your
get
biology degree?
But you still don't
Where's
have
my
bad
biology
allergy
degree?
stuff.
Where's your biology degree?
Where's my biology degree to determine that deserts have less plants than fucking cornfields?
No,
I don't
the
know.
deserts don't have a lot of plants.
I live
The
in
deserts
fucking,
don't meet a certain criteria for plants.
dude. I live in the fucking corn belt.
I have a
Plants-
biology degree, Mikey.
But plants to me mean something different than a desert. Like I don't think a desert can.
Well, science
compare.
doesn't care what plants mean to you.
So
Yeah,
so
you
you're
count
saying-
there are plants in the desert.
Now, since we're here, let's go there. How much plant flora per acre does a desert have versus the fucking Midwest? I would love
That's
for you to tell me how
irrelevant to the concern.
That's what I'm talking
do
about.
Plants cause allergies in the
It
desert.
matters what kind of plant.
Cool.
Exactly. Yeah, kind of plant. And there are plants in the desert that cause a lot of people allergies.
Actually, the one thing we have out here that like most of the people are allergic to is juniper. Besides the juniper, there's very few people you can hear complain about allergies.
I hear a
But
lot of
juniper-
people in Arizona
but
complain about
juniper makes a
allergies,
good
but we're
scent.
also different than New Mexico.
Of course, you're more like us, Bede, in that you've got lots of things that will bite you and poison you. So.
Just snakes and
By the way-
tarantulas that just migrate and hundreds
Spiders.
of them walk across the field at once a
By
certain
the way,
time of year.
you city children, the corn did exceptionally well this year. It hit 10 feet tall.
Hey, I'm not
Oh.
a city kid.
I am not a city kid.
Ours got pretty intense. I don't think it was quite 10.
Who are you
but it
talking
was
to,
up there.
Jenny?
You live in a city. What are you talking about?
No, I do
I
not.
don't.
Well, no, not you, Jen. I don't know where you live.
I'm 35 minutes.
I
I'm
don't know what it's like.
I am 35 minutes from the closest city, and that city has a population of an average of 83,000 a year.
Yeah, well, that's bigger than any city around here.
But I live 35 minutes outside of the edge of it. 30 minutes.
I live the same distance from my closest city, and that's its population is 40,000.
I'm far enough out that I have no light pollution here. I see every star in the entire.
The town I live in is not as small as yours, Jenny, but it's the population of the town is about 2,500. The population of the entire area is about 5,500.
My entire county is 18,000 people.
I live in a
I
tourist
do
town
live in a
now,
city.
but I grew up 25 minutes away from Amish country, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, we got a lot of them around here too.
I could hit a cornfield with a baseball from my back porch.
Yeah, but if you
Without using a bat.
but if you hit it, will they come?
Well, I don't know what kind of
If you
how big is a baseball.
I live maybe like 5 minutes away from two different downtowns.
So most of us aren't city people.
So I am in a I'm in a very
You are
big
but
metropolitan
you kind of have
area.
to be.
Yeah. I'm in a pretty big area.
But that's normal for somebody who's still studying and stuff. You kind of have to be because you have to be close to all of that for.
I have to be close to all the hospitals. Yeah. So.
Yeah. I mean, when you finished, then you can bugger off to the country if you want to.
Well, but then I got to go do residency in a big city.
Hell yeah.
More than
But
likely.
then you're gonna move here and be our town doctor and take care of everybody in the county.
But I don't want to go to Minnesota. It's cold there. I'm already from Wisconsin. There's a reason we left the Midwest.
Look, Ben and I already have a plan. Ben's going to come here and set up a practice, and then we're going to go tour around and save people.
We're going to do
There's
our
no
best.
bad. There's no bad weather. There's only bad clothes.
Because we just lost 6. We didn't have enough doctors to begin with, and in a matter of 5 months, we lost 6 local family physicians. Yeah, they're all old. They just all retired. Well, one guy disappeared, but the other 5 retired.
One just disappeared.
The one that disappears is the one that worries me.
They were like, guy comes in for his appointment. Where's the doctor? They're like, I don't know.
What the fuck? Didn't even tell anybody?
Didn't tell. He just I said, I wonder how much money he embezzled from the medical group. That motherfucker just ditched. People don't do that unless he was like ready to snap because he had been practicing for like 30 some
I mean, he
years,
might have
40
been
years. So maybe he was just ready to snap in his head. He was like almost 70. Maybe that's what it was, but just
he's probably burnt out.
Yeah, he probably that's what the Dr. Deb said. She goes, yeah, that dude probably was like, I can't anymore.
B, you were the final straw.
Yeah, I always am. No, I don't know who,
Ben,
I
are
never
you
met
a
the guy.
Ben, are you a Packers fan?
My whole family are Packers fans. I don't really give 2 shits about football.
Was that a great game last night or what?
I like a well-made.
I don't give 2 shits about football.
Okay, so I don't care about football either.
Neither do I.
I'm gonna end this stream. If you guys want to talk football, you can do it after I end the stream. So, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. I have to get up early and go to work in the morning. So everybody, don't make me kick you.
I have to do my class at UW lacrosse tomorrow.
Cool.
What?
I'm doing a class in the LGBT study.
Yeah. Good. Let us know how it is. We'll see you around Neil's tomorrow night. We all know we're all going to be tomorrow night. Anyways, so everybody in the chat, thank you so much for coming. You know, I appreciate and love all of you, and I appreciate the banter and you guys coming around all the time. It means a lot to me. Everybody on the panel, thanks so much for coming in. You know, I love you guys and appreciate you all. And I agree with Murray. It was another great stream. So everybody, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
And have some peace in your life.
And that was Gary's final.